Good day, Israel. Good day, all those that are tuning in to this video here today. Very important study. Just the Spirit was just working with me here. And so all day yesterday and all day today, almost 16, 17 hours, just putting together just this download or this transmission here from the Most High. So it's a very important message and an urgent message here in this video. In my previous videos, I had connection issues, so the video got cut off, so I'm hoping that I don't have any connection issues. If my video get cut off, just make sure you go back onto my live and be able to pick up the information there, because this is a very urgent video, very important study here today. It says in 2nd Ezra chapter 13 that he who brings the danger shall protect those that are left behind. And when you're standing on truth in this world, because this is a world filled with so much lies and so much deceptions and so much vanity, the truth becomes very hot. So the truth is not popular. We don't do this for likes or for anything like this but we do this for your education and for edification of the word of the Most High there. So I want to give all praise to the Most High for the Ruach HaKodesh here, and just send a prayer for those that are suffering, those that are hurting. Pray for discernment, pray for the Ruach HaKodesh to open our eyes and to soften our hearts and to be able to give us an opportunity to receive wisdom here. And so I'm thankful and I'm grateful to be here today for this very important discussion. I got to narrate myself because we have a lot to cover here today, so tell your friends and your family that we're live, and make sure you turn on Facebook notification and take a lot of notes here today. So in today's, and if you haven't done so already, make sure you study all the videos on my Facebook timeline. A lot of videos have been removed, and I put a lot of them on YouTube. So my YouTube channel, the link is on my timeline, and make sure you study that there as well. And so in today's video, we will discuss and study many topics, including the beast system and marks of the beast, the rise of the Leviathan and the New World Order gay agenda, doctrines of the Gentiles concerning Genesis, creation of Adam, the state of the Holy Family, slavery, psychology, post-traumatic slave syndrome, cognitive dissonance, worldwide satanic worship, interracial dating and the problem of the color lines, the ways of the Gentiles, masonry, Eastern stars, Greek letter organizations, and secret societies, and many more topics here today, such as revelations and the apocrypha books here. So be sure to watch all my videos on my timeline and study all blogs. Facebook removed many videos, so go to my YouTube channel. The link is on my timeline. I now have more videos on YouTube than any other platform, including Facebook. So turn on Facebook notifications, follow my pages, and thanks for tuning in, and tell everybody that we're live. Share and repost, and make sure you have your Bibles out. Take a lot of notes. There's a lot of sensitive topics that will be discussed here today, and I must state the disclaimer that this is all for educational purpose only, allowing scriptures to interpret themselves into our living history. And so Genesis chapter 3 verse 15. And I will put enmity between thee and the woman, between thy seed and her seed, and it shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. And we know from Ezekiel chapter 28 that Satan is a prophecy towards Satan trying to be like the Most High, sit in the seat of the Most High, and empower the nations there. So Psalms chapter 83, it says, "Keep not thou silence, O Elohim, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Elohim. For lo, thy enemies make a turmoil, and they that hate thee have lifted up their head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have come and said, let us cut them off from being the nation, that the name of Israel be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are a confederate against thee." And this is representing all the nations here in this world here today. And we're at the time when you're starting to see Revelations chapter 13, this beast system here. And so Revelations chapter 13, verse 1, "And I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet was like a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. And I saw as if one of his heads, as if it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound did heal, and all the world wondered after the beast. And they worshipped the dragon which gave power unto the beast, and they worshipped the beast, saying, Who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him? And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue for 42 months. And he opened his mouth to blasphemize against Elohim, to blasphemize his name and his tabernacle, and them that dwell in the heaven. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints, and to overcome them. And power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations, and all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. If any man have an ear, let him hear. And so we know from 2 Ezra chapter 6, verse 9, it tells us that at the appearance of the Hamashiach, just as during the first advent, during his second advent, Rome would be in power over the nations. And Hamashiach now comes to bring an end of the Roman Empire worldwide and Esau's rule over the earth, and give the kingdom to Jacob. And so Jasher chapter 70 to 75 tells us that Rome and Esau became one and the same peoples. And we know from Revelation chapter 2, verse 7 through 9, it tells us that in the end times, the times that we're living in right now, at the appearance of the Hamashiach, there will be a people on the earth calling themselves Jews and are not, but they're in the synagogue of Satan. And this is what's being called the state of Israel and Israeli government and peoples. They are not biblical Jacob, and that's not the Holy Land. They are the seed of Esau, and scriptures prove our living history. Esau is the seed of the serpent, referenced in Genesis chapter 3, verse 15, Satan, and has the spirit of Cain from before the flood. And Esau mixed his seed amongst the Gentiles to hide his identity. And their evil intentions is to remove all history of the true biblical seed of Jacob, later called the Israelites. And so Rome is also Esau, Edom, Greco-Rome, and Esau is also Rome. The Jews and the Romans are one and the same people. And this is another confirmation of their blasphemy, because we know that scriptures that Rome is an enemy of the biblical seed of Jacob and an enemy of the Most High. Yet those Jews in the land of Israel are deceiving the world of their true identity. They are not biblical or ancient Israelites or Israelites of the seed of Jacob. They are Esau trying to steal the birthrights of Jacob, and they are also the seed of the serpent from Genesis chapter 3, verse 15. And also one of the two nations, Genesis chapter 25 tells us that Esau and Jacob are going to be what the end times are about. These are those that's ruling over the earth right now, and they rule over the nations. And they have led the earth astray from the commandments of the Most High by following after the ways of the serpent Satan and the fallen angels. Thus the minds and the hearts of the people are always on evil. And when you look at the beast from Revelation chapter 13, it has 7 heads and 10 horns. The 7 heads can be seen as the G7 nations, and the 10 horns can be seen as the brick nations, which also reveals the Jews and the Romans also rule over the bricks there. Additionally, the beast is described as like unto a leopard, feet like a bear, a mouth as a lion, and the dragon gave him his seat of powers. And so the lion is symbolic of Babylon there, which is spoken about in Daniel prophecies, chapters 1 through 12 there, and it's revealed as the first kingdom there. And the bear there is a prophecy about Medo-Persian Empire, in which the Persian side was larger and more dominant. The overtaking of Babylon by this empire was the focus of Daniel chapter 5 there. Russia is also described as a bear. The winged leopard, this is a prophecy about the Greek Empire, which would later conquer the Persian Empire and expand beyond it. This prophecy came true when Alexander the Great, by his early 30s, at 33, he conquered the known world with speed, and Alexander died young without an heir, and so his empire was split between 4 generals as predicted in Daniel's visions. The beast there is Rome. The Roman Empire is depicted as a demonic monstrosity of animals and weapons there, and Yahushua HaMashiach was born, tried, and murdered by the Roman Empire. Additionally, when you study the image of the beast from Revelation chapter 13, right in New York City at the United Nations headquarters, they have a statue of this Revelation chapter 13 beast outside his offices there. Just as the statue of Shiva, the destroyer, is outside the CERN offices there. So the United Nations is revealing that the Psalms chapter 83 confederacy of nations that seek to rebel against the Most High and seeks to destroy his chosen seed of the Torah covenant and first testimony. And so 2nd Ezra chapter 15 through 16 also reveals that Asia is in the bed with Mystery Babylon in this same rebellion. And so all the governments in the world are in a rebellion against the Most High and his chosen seed. All the world governments are secretly ran by Satan and the fallen angels, who too are in rebellion against the Most High and have been preparing for the final battle since the beginning of times. And so study a whistleblower named Phil Snyder, who spoke about deep underground military bases, and he was killed mysteriously for what he put out there about the fallen angels and the Nephilim working with our governments to prepare for this final war. And from the word government, you get the definition governing the mind. And so the governments seek to control how you think and how you act. The marks of the beast there. And if you don't think like them, and if you don't act like them, then you're labeled as an enemy of the state and subjected to their silent attacks of destruction against you in hopes of eliminating you or ending your life or getting you to commit suicide. The governments also use secret sciences to subject you to implanted thoughts, where they can monitor and change your thoughts in real time, making you function as a robot using secret sciences. So you have things like that existed long before Project MK Ultra, Project Naomi. Many in the CIA in America are Nazi German scientists who came to America and Israel after escaping World War II. So that's why that word Ashkenazi, you get the word Nazi in there as well. So and also Donald Trump, his real name is Trump. He's from Germany, Nazi Germany as well there. So these people were experts in mind control and biological and chemical warfare and plagues and using sciences there. They also was said that Hitler was possibly went into the inner hollow earth. There's a theory about that, and they made these Vermanas, which are like UFO spaceships and things of that nature. So also right at the United Nations headquarters is what can be seen as the gay rainbow flag there. And did you know that after Adam's world was destroyed by a flood, the Most High gave Noah a sign that he wouldn't destroy the world again by water? The Most High put a rainbow in the skies as a sign to Noah, and Esau and the Gentiles took this very sign of a rainbow and they made it into the sign of Great Gay Pride Month, the Gay Pride flag. So everyone who sees the rainbow thinks of gay pride and not of Noah and the Most High's covenant there. And this is a powerful statement because when the Most High gave the rainbow in the cloud to Noah, it was a sign of the Ark of the Covenant. And we know the Ark of the Covenant is a sign of salvation, blessings, and power. And so what the world is telling you by polluting the rainbow into a gay pride symbol, the world is telling you that if you want to seek safety, salvation, blessings, and power, you must hide yourself behind the rainbow, hide yourself behind the Ark and sign of the covenant. If you want to receive salvation, you must think like them and act like them. And what they're telling the world is that gays and pedophiles run the world. These are what Revelation chapter 13 calls the marks of the beast, which comes in your forehead and your thoughts, and in your hands and your actions, and great words of blasphemy to those that look beyond the veils. So Kanye West recently said in an interview that gays run the world, and then he did a Freudian slip and said that he's gay. Former U.S. President Barack Obama recently said in an interview that every male child needs a gay male figure in their lives. Get that. And when you study scripture, when you study celebrities, you'll see how many celebrities are coming out of the closets and telling the world what the wise already knew, that they are gay. And this is another reason why the Republicans voted to block the release of Epstein files, even though they claim that there's no files there. And remember the Malaysia flight that went missing there, all these islands that were used for child trafficking and abuse of children and things of that nature. nature. And because those files, so those files existed, the FBI and all these reporters was coming out and saying that they had a copy of the file. Now they're saying that there's no files, because those files will expose all the corruption in the world by these men that hate women and are gay and abusers of women and children. And they all must hide the truths, because even your favorite President Trump is said to be all over those files as a named person of interest, worse than Diddy there. And even his buddy Elon Musk is saying this. And this is key because of the powerful influence celebrities has over the masses in the global public, and especially the children. Our leaders are saying, think like us and act like us. And then the masses follows, especially the youth and children. And so let's look at something major revealing here. We just had a movie called Superman released there. And in the wake of the 2025 Superman movie release, the character of Crypto, the superdog, has reportedly sparked a surge in dog adoption interest. Following the premiere weekend of the Superman movie, searches for adopt a dog near me increased by 513%, according to data from the dog training app Woofs. Searches for rescue dog adoption near me rose by 163%, and searches for adopt a Schneider jumped by 299%. And this movie just came out not too long ago. This increase is attributed to Crypto's portrayal in the film as a Schneider and a terror putt, in the Superman movie. And so get this, because people saw the Superman movie, and those that watched the movie now saw Superman that had a dog, this sparked a 513% increase in dog adoptions and huge spark in dog sales. That's a powerful revelation, because it proves that whatever you ingest into your mind and whatever the mind observes, it does and it mimics. My mother had a saying, monkey see, monkey do. So the government doesn't want you to think. It wants you to think like them. And so it controls your actions and keep you trapped in their matrix of oppression and blindness and lawlessness. So Satan uses governments, and he also uses religions to govern our minds and to rely on a religion. Break that word down where you get blessed or be less than and the knowledge of good and evil. And if you take the word good and erase one of the O's, you get God, the word God, and take the word evil and add a D, and you get the word devil. You reverse the word lived, and you get devil. They level the word. They level the word God as generator, operator, destroyer. So that's not the true name or title of the Most High Creator there. And then they flood the media and flood the entertainment and flood the education and flood the religions and the laws with their agendas there. And then we marvel at why is the world so gay and bisexual, as one of your favorite so-called social media Illuminati stars that revealed that he sacrificed his own son to join the Illuminati. Yet all you blindly follow for entertainment, 607 Unc says that most men are born gay. So when people hear that, and these celebrities have such an influence over people. So beware over these Illuminati puppets, as the enemy knows 95% of humans are followers. So they create these puppets to lead you into their god Satan and rebel against the Most High. And what these puppets are good for is mixing lies with truths there. And so Revelations here, chapter 13, when you're reading Revelation chapter 13, it's talk about the beast that had a wound unto death there, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast, and they worshiped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast there. And he's speaking all these words of blasphemy there. The beast in Revelation chapter 13 is also Jesus Christ there. John chapter 5 verse 43 to 45, the one who came in his own name. And the images of Jesus Christ sold around the world is that of Leonardo da Vinci homosexual lover Cesar Borgia, going back into this gay agenda and this Baphomet worship in the world. And in other words, the image that they sell us is not the Messiah, but that of the beast there. So Leviticus chapter 18 verse 21, and thou shalt not let any of thy seed pass through the fire to Moloch, neither shalt thou profane the name of thy Yahuwah thy Elohim. Thou shalt not lie with mankind as womankind, it is an abomination. Neither shalt thou lie with any beast to defile thyself therein, neither shall any woman stand before a beast to lie down therein, it is confusion. Defile not ye yourselves with any of these, for in these things the nations are defiled, which I have cast out before you, and the land is defiled. Therefore I do visit the iniquity therein upon it, and the land itself vomited at its inhabitants there. And so in Bibles and churches throughout the world who carry and promote these false images there, you are secretly worshiping homosexuality and a Baphomet. And so in other words, First Maccabees chapter 3 verse 48 there, and First Enoch chapter 104 verses 10 through 14. And when they painted the image of the Messiah to be a gay man, they are telling your subconscious mind that God is gay there. And to be like the Messiah, you must be gay or bisexual, just like those Gentile nations and Edomites. And so for the last 2,000 years, the world has been worshiping a gay Messiah named Jesus Christ and not even aware of this. Jesus also had paps in the book of Revelations chapter 1 verse 13. And in the midst of the seven candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot, and girt about the paps with a golden girdle. And so when you look up the definition of the word paps, it's female breast. This also confirms and links Jesus to the Baphomet, the same Baphomet that King James, who authored the King James Bible, worship. King James also was a homosexual and wrote a book on demonology. This is why when you study the images of Jesus, he's always throwing Baphomet hand signs, and all while wearing Roman garments and not Israelite priesthood attire there. So start studying symbolism and art and steles and be able to get the wisdom that it reveals. Jesus is the embodiment of pagan Rome that became papal Rome, a mixture of various religions and cultures and cults blended into one to unite Roman's kingdom worldwide there, where everyone was worshiping their own gods and things of that nature. And so study Constantine there, and also even study the fact that Rome had a lot of early black popes that you don't hear about in history as well. And that's why in India they call on Shiva and Brahma because that's also Jesus. And in Mexico they call on Quetzalcoatl because that's also Jesus. And in the Middle East and Asia they call on Allah because that's also Jesus and Yahweh. And that is why in Asia, in Europe, in Africa, the Americas, wherever you find Esau ruling over and living amongst us, you also find a large gay population and a strong gay agenda. Check in Kenya after Obama went there with his gay agenda. Study that Obama, because he's also an Edomite there, study South Africa after those Jews ended apartheid there. And South Africa is also where the remnants of where Sodom and Gomorrah is, Revelation chapter 11. There and it's also one of the top gay tourist spots in the world. Study the land of Israel, which provides legal safe havens against expeditions and sending you out to foreign jails for sexual predators. These are gay safe havens of safety and their quote unquote heavens on earth. And when you think about Esau, you must go back to the story of Noah, whereby Canaan caught Noah drunk and saw his nakedness. And I'm wondering if Canaan molested Noah and took advantage of Noah being drunk for the first time. The Bible doesn't say much about this, but it's speculations of something gay happened with Canaan. And then Canaan gets cursed, and it was said to the sons of Abraham not to mix with Canaan, and his seed was to be removed from the earth. But Esau mixed with Canaan, and then Esau also mixed with many of the Gentile nations. And it's also interesting, all roads lead back to Babylon. And when I read the Epic of Gilgamesh, it's just interesting, Enki and Enkidu. It seemed like a love story between these two guys. And so the Bible speaks of many topics that we face in life, but one topic that's almost silent in is the topic of homosexuality and gender change. And that's because that's what's ruling with Esau and these Gentiles. And since many of you seek to persecute me and troll me, I'll try to be very careful with my words. There's nothing new under the sun since the beginning unto our time, gays and transgenders have been a major hidden topics in life, and there's not many detailed stories or examples in scriptures or revelations other than the basic general warnings there. And sometimes when you read the story of Sodom and Gomorrah, it doesn't really speak a lot about homosexuality. It speaks a lot about their godlessness and things of that nature there, even though you had the people that tried to molest the angels and stuff like that. So it was like a number of things that was going on with Sodom and Gomorrah. But homosexuality Sexuality and gender change is like a hidden topic that's not discussed for some strange reason, even though it's so profound in our world, hidden secretly. And so Jesus is always, and if you study ancient history, you'll see in ancient civilizations, you'll see a lot of this going on. Jesus is also Lucifer, Satan, and he tells us this in Revelations. And Satan is also Osiris of Egypt and Amun-Ra. And so Revelation chapter 3, verse 14, and unto the angel of the church of Laodiceans, right, these things saith the Amen, the faithful and the true witness, the beginning of the creation of God. And then in Revelation chapter 22, verse 16, I, Jesus, have sent my angel to testify unto these things unto the churches. I am the root and the offspring of David and the bright and morning star. And then you go to Isaiah chapter 14, verse 12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which did weaken the nations? So a lot of people are going to try to tell you, because there's so much astral theology, you get from the word Bible, you get Helios Biblios there. And so, a lot of this, the journey of the sun was made and documented into stories. What's happening in the heavens is happening on earth, like as above, so below. But so you'll get a lot of people out there who will try to say, oh, this is about Venus, the planet there, because Venus, the planet, rises before the sun rises. So it's called the son of the morning there. But no, this is actually speaking about Jesus. Jesus links himself to Egypt and Babylon by calling himself the Amen. And that's why if you read the Egyptian Book of the Dead and the Pyramid Text and the Egyptian Book of the Gates, you'll see a lot of parallels in New Testament writings there. And if you any any stele, Stele of Osiris, you'll see he's always seated on an American flag. So yes, back in Egypt, they had the same American flag. They also had the same eagle there long before America was even a thought. And so America is also Egypt. And what this reveals is everything that happened in America today has happened in Egypt back then. This same culture of gay masons and Baphomet worship and lawlessness there. And so Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68, and the Yahuwah shall bring thee into Egypt again, and by ships, by the way of the where I spoke unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies from bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. This is referencing the transatlantic slave trade here. But you go to 2nd Baruch chapter 29. Let's tie something else in here. 2nd Baruch chapter 29, and I'm going to start in verse 1. And Yahuwah answered and said to me, that which will happen at that time bears upon the whole earth, and thereby all who live on it will notice it. For at that time I shall only protect those found in this land at that time. Talking about the secret location he's going to bring his elect to. And it will happen that when all these, that which should come to pass and these parts have been accomplished, referencing 2nd Baruch chapter 27 there, the anointed one will begin to be revealed. So the Messiah is coming from earth and not from heaven there. This was 2nd Exodus chapter 13 is revealing. And in Revelation chapter 12, verses 1 through 5 there. And so back to 2nd Baruch chapter 29. Verse 4, and Behemoth will reveal itself from his place, and Leviathan will come from the sea, the two great sea monsters which I created on the 5th day of creation, and which I shall have kept until that time, and they will be nourishment for all who are left. And so Baruch's prophecy concerns the second coming of Hamashiach. And at his coming also brings forth Behemoth and Leviathan. And now we discuss how all scriptures have multidimensional knowledge that's revealed. So Behemoth and Leviathan are physical monsters and creations there, such as King Kong and Godzilla and so on and so forth. They also, and the Titans, they also represent a new political and a new religious system, which is the Abrahamic Accords and the Greater Israel Project of the Jewish Heritage Foundation and AIPAC, with their plans to build a temple to their god Satan under the guise of Yahweh in Judaism, and their false claims of being the chosen seed and the lands that they're occupying being the promised land, and their two-state government solution between Islam and Judaism, which means Sharia law and Noahide laws, will be the agenda of the New World Order. We know them, and you need to study them laws there. We know know them to be lies and mass deception. Their Messiah is the anti-Hamashiach. But this is why they're using the migrant crisis to take away your rights while they quickly build concentration camps with incinerators there. So study alligator Alcatraz because that's their mindset and how much they hate us there. They also had a practice ceremony of their red heifer ceremony because they reject the Messiah. They still feel that they have to sacrifice there. So they're close to coming about and they're ready to usher in their false Messiah there. And when you think about Esau, you must go back to the story of Noah, whereby Cain caught Noah drunk and saw his nakedness there. And I'm wondering if Canaan molested Noah and took advantage of Noah being drunk for the first time. The Bible doesn't really speak much about this, but it's speculations there that. I'm sorry. Hang on 1 second. We got that. My thing just went up. I'm sorry. So you need to study what's going on here in this world. Study all these new laws that are being passed there. When you study symbolism concerning the Baphomet there, Lucifer and Satan have long been conflated along with the devil in the figure of the Baphomet, a winged androgynous with the head of a goat there. And so the Church of Satan uses a sigil, the SIGIL of the Baphomet as part of their visual iconography. And so the Baphomet also includes the name Samael spelled on the top and the name Lilith spelled on the bottom there. And so the sigil, SIGIL, of Lucifer is the same image as the Masonic compass and square logo, which is also the same as the Jewish Star of David for those that have eyes to see. The SIGIL, sigil of the Baphomet, is the same image as the Eastern Star logo there. So all, and this is why you got to study symbology there. It's a language that doesn't need to be spoken there. So all Masons and Eastern Stars worship Satan. The same in the Baphomet. The same is said of the Greek letter organizations who worship the fallen angels and Satan. And so even though these are lasting traditions, family traditions for many, you must know Satan deceived our ancestors, and also many of our ancestors were Satan worshipers. So stop following blind traditions and follow the Most High Yah. You're not going to find them in Masonry or Eastern Stars. The Baphomet is linked with Leviathan when you study symbolism there. So when 2 Baruch chapter 29 speaks of Leviathan, it's also speaking about the rise of the Baphomet there. This is why scriptures say, as in the days of Noah, so shall the coming of the Son of Man be. So at the coming of Hamashiach, you'll see the rise of the new world order, a rise of a new political and religious system, and a rise of their gay Baphomet agenda. And this is what we're seeing in the world today, and all financed by our governments. And this is why gays are doing financially better than Israelites, the people of the book, the chosen seed. They're taking all the jobs, and this is what they did. So we had our civil rights movement, then came women's rights movement, and then came the gay rights movement. So they took like the women and the gays and took all the civil rights basically there. And so they're taking all the jobs and all the leadership positions in the world, all the affirmative action, so-called. And there's pictures of Trump's Vice President J.D. Vance being a cross-dresser there. And I'm going to say alleged all these things so I don't get flagged here, but you can see it all yourself if you go on social media. Him being a cross-dresser before becoming vice president, just as Ukraine President Zelensky there, who wears the symbol of Khazaria. That's why he always wears that black sweatshirt, and he has a symbol of Khazaria on the chest, which is the sign of the Baphomet there. And Khazaria is where the Jews come from, which is why America mass funds the Ukraine and Israel, because Khazaria is in modern day Ukraine. And when you study the Baphomet, so that's where all our tax dollars are going. Hundreds of billions of dollars a year are going to Ukraine and Israel, but zero to the American people who are paying those taxes. And then they turned around and spent hundreds of billions on migrants but zero to the American people and the poor. And when you study the Baphomet is a symbolic figure primarily associated with the occult, paganism, and Satanism. It's often depicted as a humanoid figure with a goat's head. They're sometimes possessing wings and a combination of male and female attributes. So simply, he's an androgynous male with female breast or paps, just like you have the description of Jesus in Revelation chapter 1 saying that he had paps there. And so they're describing Jesus to be the Baphomet. And then Jesus tells you he is Satan, the Lucifer, the morning star. So I want you to notice here that the Baphomet has both male and female attributes. And let's tie this in with what we're seeing in the world with all the gender changes and surgeries. And so behind the gay and transgender agenda is the Baphomet worship. You're worshiping Satan, the beast in the image. A lot of people may not be aware of this. And so let's tie something else here. And this is the secret of the origins of Baphomet worship. The Gentiles call Satan God. And so they're trying to present us with an image of the kingdom of heaven. And to them, they are calling heaven gay, and not many people are noticing this. So in Genesis chapter 1 verse 26, and Elohim said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let him have dominion over the fish over the sea, and over the fowl over the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that is creeping upon the earth. So Elohim created man in his own image, and the image of Elohim created he, them, him, male and female, he created he, them. There. So I don't want to confuse you but I do want to expose the roots of their thinking. These are not my thoughts here. There. And what's behind the Baphomet worship is the way the Gentiles are interpreting scriptures. This is why many look at the same scriptures and have different meanings and different takeaways. So Isaiah chapter 29 tells us a deep sleep curse went on the earth there after the spirit of Egypt, we know from scriptures, and we're now learning sound doctrine as we reach the end of our final captivity there. So let me show you how they see things, and let's go back to Genesis and here, Genesis chapter 1. So Genesis chapter 1 here, verse 26 through 27. And Elohim said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish over the sea, and over the fowl over the air, and over the cattle, and over the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. And so Elohim created man, so highlight man, in his own image, highlight that, and the image of Elohim created he, him. So highlight that, created he, him, male and female created he, them. Highlight created he, them. So what the world is doing is, when you read Genesis, there's a creation of man in Genesis chapter 1 verse 26 through 27, and then there's a creation of man discussed in Genesis chapter 2 verse 7. So to some in the world, they see Genesis chapter 1 verse 26 to 27 and Genesis chapter 2 verse 7 as the same creation of man, just spoken from different perspectives. However, there's those that are ruling in the earth right now that see things completely differently. They see Genesis chapter 1 and Genesis chapter 2 as two separate creations. And so what I want you to keep in mind, that the world is selling us a God that is both male and female, just like the Baphomet. And in Revelation chapter 1, Jesus has female breast or paps, just like the Baphomet. And if you study the images of Jesus, he throws the same Baphomet hand signs, and he's in his Roman garments there. So they are trying to say the Son is both male and female and is gay. And they are also trying to say the same about the Most High and the first Adam created there. So I want to try to make sense of this for you. So notice in Genesis chapter 1 verse 26 to 27, the first description of the creation of the first man was described as being made in the image and likeness of the Most High. And because they reject the Hamashiach, they call the word us, mention the Elohim or the angels there. So or the hosts of heaven. So this Adam in Genesis chapter 1 verse 26 through 27, they label as the heavenly Adam. And then they say this heavenly Adam fell or lost his highest state in the heavens. And so when you read Genesis chapter 2, verse 7, the account of the creation of that Adam, it speaks of that Adam being made out of clay of the earth. And it doesn't mention that Adam was made in the image and likeness of the Most High and the host of angels. This is key because they feel that after being born of clay, that Adam lost the image and the likeness of the Father. Thereby, the Father had to breathe air into the Adam in Genesis chapter 2, and then that Adam became a living soul. So they feel that something is missing that they must get in order to be made whole again. And so when you go to Genesis chapter 2, here starting in verse 4, these are the generations of the heavens and of the earth when they were created, and the day that Yahuwah Elohim made the earth and the heavens, and every plant of the field before it was on the earth, and every herb of the field before it grew. For the Yahuwah Elohim had not caused it to rain upon the earth, and there was not a man to till the ground. So highlight that for that sentence. There was not a man to till the ground, but there went up a mist from the earth, and it watered the whole face of the ground. And the Yahuwah Elohim formed man of the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. So what I want you to notice in Genesis chapter 2, verse 5, it says that there was not a man on the earth to till the ground. So notice this comes after Genesis chapter 1, where man was created. But they interpret it to believe that the Adam in Genesis chapter 1 was created in heaven, and Genesis chapter 2, Adam was created on the earth. And that's why after creating Adam in Genesis chapter 1, there was no man on the earth to till the earth in Genesis chapter 2, verse 5. So I'm just trying to explain their way of thinking. This is not my thinking. So what they are selling themselves is that something happened that caused the heavenly Adam of Genesis chapter 1 to fall to the earth and be created from an earthly vessel in Genesis chapter 2. This is key to note because I want to expose their thinking, and I pray to the Most High for this, and why they hate their body so much and hate their gender so much that they feel the need to do surgeries and take hormones and the CIA to create a made-up childhood history that you were that same gender after you change it, and also why they hate women so much. What's behind the transgender and gay agenda is the Baphomet worship, and they feel that they must regain their lost heavenly estate from Genesis chapter 1. And the only way to do that is to be both male and female in the same body, or at least experience male and female in the same body by engaging in gay activities and gay sex. And so the way that they're interpreting scriptures is called a gap theory. They say something happened to destroy the world between Genesis chapter 1 and Genesis chapter 2, which gave man losing the image and likeness of the Father. And what happened caused a fallen man who now needed to be created again in Genesis chapter 2, but created in a fallen state. And so notice in Genesis chapter 2 was the first description of the creation of both opposite sexes, male and female. And there's no mention in Genesis chapter 2 of being in the image and likeness of the Father. And so I want you to keep this in mind, because also Genesis chapter 1, the Adam that's created is said to be both male and female. He created him male and female. So they interpret, when you go to Genesis chapter 1 verse 27, and Elohim created man in his own image, and the image Elohim created he him, male and female created he them. So you have to look at that wordplay there. The way they interpret this is that in verse 27, the Most High created him, and that him is both male and female, called the Adam. And this Adam was in the image and likeness of the Most High in the angelic host. And so they consider the first Adam, and the first Adam image is that of the Baphomet, an androgynous angel with wings, and an outward man that's both male and female in one body. And then they interpret that something happened to cause this Adam to fall in spirit from his heavenly and mortal estate. And they claimed Genesis chapter 2 is the second Adam that's created from the earth. And something happened to this Adam that they call being created in a fallen state. And they consider this fall to have led to the woman being taken out of man. And there. And this is another reason why they demonize women, because they consider the male the outward image of the Most High, and the female the inner image of the Most High. And they feel in order to for the Most High to save Adam, he had to remove the evil out of Adam. And what was removed out of Adam was the woman there. So they consider the woman to be the root of evil. And this is why they hate the woman, because they feel they are the evil part of man that must be replaced with something artificial, such as AI and transgenders. And this is what's behind artificial wombs and artificial births there, and why they are trying so hard for men to get pregnant, because they want to eliminate the woman on the earth. The same way they present a heaven without women, as there are no female angels in scriptures there. And Jesus said, will be as the angels, not given to marriages there. And they feel you need to you need to have both male and female in one sex, one body, to be in the image and likeness of the Most High, to return to from your fallen state. And so I'm trying to break this down to expose how they are interpreting scriptures, not how I'm interpreting them, but how they are interpreting them, and how they are ruling over our lives, and the silent and hidden gay agenda, mind control programming that often begins with a Mason molesting a chosen one at a young age to instill gender identity crisis and open sexuality. And so if you are a chosen one, chances are you have been molested at a young age, because the enemy must inflict sexual trauma on you at early ages, because this trauma is like a portal that opens you up to their gay agenda. And if they do this at early enough, it's almost like you're stuck with it for your life. There, save the Most High there. And so Genesis chapter 2, verse 21, and the Elohim caused a deep sleep to come upon Adam, and he slept, and he took one of his ribs and closed it up with the flesh thereof. So notice this description is not in chapter 1. And the rib which the Elohim had taken from man made he a woman, and brought her unto the man. And he said, this is now bone of thy bones and flesh of thy flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man. Therefore shall a man leave his father and mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall become one flesh. So the Genesis chapter 2 account of the creation of man, and this man is not considered androgynous, both male and female in the male body. This is when they say the gender split. And then notice Genesis chapter 3. The serpent was cursed, and the woman was cursed, and the earth was cursed, but Adam wasn't cursed. So everyone was cursed but Adam. And this Genesis chapter 2 is the fallen Adam, they say. And they consider the woman to be evil, because she was taken out of man just to save Adam. And this is why they hate women so much. And then in Daniel chapter 8, it speaks of the end times hatred towards women there. And so what they are selling through secret societies is gender change surgeries. And that's why you must see the government, finance billions into transgender surgeries, where males are becoming females and females are becoming males, indistinguishable. This is also why 99% of the world's female celebrities and powerful women and first ladies are really men there. Rather than getting a biological woman, they always put trannies in your faces there. And your conscious mind may not be aware that you're being sold homosexuality to your subconscious mind. This is all Baphomet worship. And behind the Baphomet worship is their interpretation of Genesis creation of Adam. It's also behind the gay agenda, because in order to get one open to changing genders, they must be open to doing something gay or bisexual and engage in that lifestyle, even if you're on a DL. Just like, so when you're becoming a Mason and getting in those higher degrees or secret societies or Greek letter organizations, these are the gay humiliation rituals that they make you do. And that's why those in the system seek not to be exposed for their ways, so they get what's called beards to hide their gay activities. Check the likes of Neo and Ray J and Ladies Love Cool J. And you look at their wives and think that they're straight, but they're really gay, married to men that's inverted converted to a woman. This is Mystery Babylon, and the marks of the beast that all celebrities and those in power must submit to. Even the world's richest man must submit to the Baphomet. There, he tried to tell you that his son died there, but his son really became a girl, a transgender there, and his Tesla logo is the horns of the Baphomet. So I did a video that a lot of these signs and symbols and logos and companies and the corporations and sport teams, this is all Baphomet worship there. And then when you take an aerial view of like a lot of their stadiums, and even look at Naomi Campbell's house from the aerial view, or the Jehovah Witness thing from an aerial view, and you'll see a lot of Baphomet worship there. So check the biological genders of all the billionaires' wives there. They're really men there. And I'm going to say this allegedly, so my video don't get taken down. And when you look and study celebrities, you'll see this Baphomet worship. Worship of the Baphomet is worship of transgenders. They're the Leviathan spirit. So don't believe Donald Trump when he's going after transgenders. It's all hypocrisy, because he's married to and has children that are alleged transgenders, just as everybody else there. And some of them are not even human there. And to be safe, I'll say allegedly for educational purposes only. But we know MAGA, M-A-G-A, it means a dark magician or a high priest of Satan there. But he tried to tell you, make America great, and he lives in Mar-a-Lago there. So we know the beast that comes from the lake that goes into the sea. The beast that comes from the sea that goes into the lake there. So that's where you get the word Mar-a-Lago from there. They always got to tell you some type of way the truth. This is why Daniel says one would arise that speaks through dark magic and sorcery and dark sentences there. This is describing the system. You just had Candace Owens who spoke against transgenders, and it's alleged that she's really one herself there, that she's a man. This is Mystery Babylon. And then when you study ancient Egypt and Babylon, you have the worship of the male phallus through the obelisk and the Osiris myths there. And Rome and the Greeks copied their spirituality and all the information from the seed of Ham there, and going back even to Babylon. And many of the world's religions root back to worship of the male phallus and sexual fertility cults there. And the one thing I want you to note is beyond lust and sex. These are deep spiritual beliefs and convictions because they feel that they must return to the heavenly state of Adam, which they say is androgynous there, male and female in one there. And then you have science or alleged science that shows us something is happening to the Y chromosome that is disappearing, and each male has an XY chromosome there, and a female has an XX chromosome, and the embryologists are saying that life starts out as a female until the or androgynous until the 8th week when the sex is determined there, and yet the Bible says that man was created before the woman there. Another interesting thing about studying embryology, you'll see how we're like shapeshifters in the womb there. So what they're also saying is that inside of every and we're shapeshifters in the womb, and we start out as like a fish or a tadpole, and we go through all these various stages there. So we have the animals or the beast side of man that you must conquer there, and the final stage of the animal state, because all animals even have this similar embryology there, except man shapeshifts into a man there at his final state. So you need to conquer the beast inside of you there. So what they are saying is that inside of every man is a woman, and this can be another contribution to what makes people gay. They're more in touch with their feminine side. Also, the manipulation of all the divine feminine energy there, especially in these last days. And when you study the Masonic puppets It's sad because Kim Kardashian came out and says she is transitioning just like Lady Gaga, just like the Kardashian sisters. But Beyonce is silent on hers. The name Beyonce means once a boy. Beyonce had a recent concert where she rode on a white horse, and that should show you how difficult it is to distinguish, when someone changes genders, and so Beyonce recently had a concert where she rode on a white horse and had a statue of a pillar of salt, referencing Lot's wife, and also referencing Sodom and Gomorrah. All our world leaders and celebrities practice Baphomet worship, and Baphomet worship means that you must change their genders either at birth, such as in the case of Beyonce, or at conversion, such as in the case of Brittany Garner, the NBA player, in the women's basketball league, a man in the women's basketball league, and those that change at birth are difficult to detect versus those that change later in their lives there. And one of the saddest realities is that most of the most beautiful women are really men, and even many of the most attractive men are really women, and with all the estrogen that they pump in our foods, and the destruction of all the female trees, and the manipulation of even marijuana to smoke you gay, many guys have strong feminine features, and women are looking more masculine. And since the Jews control and own the media, music, Hollywood, law, etc., the governments, the military, the police, you could safely assume that the majority of all famous people are transgenders. Study Europe and their royal families, the history of them. This was Victoria's Secret. She was a man, just as the French Prime Minister Macron's wife. All the American president first ladies were really men. From the current administration to their founders there. And that's because right in Washington, D.C. is the obelisk of Osiris, a male penis there. And they also had the Bohemian Groove And the city is basically built out to Saturn if you look at it from an area view. So I'm not just singling out So don't just single out the Obamas because that's not fair. It's all of them. That's why I don't have to drop names, because it's all of them, including President Trump and Obama, Beyonce, the Kardashians, the Braxtons, Venus and Serena Williams, who are men and won all those female championships there. Gail and all those who supposedly went to space with Jeff Bezos with the Baphomet logo on their craft. And I'm studying Oprah and even Maya Angelou and Aretha the WNBA is really men. Many in the NBA and NFL are really women. I'm studying Pat Mahomes there and Stephon Curry Lady Gaga, Taylor Swift, Pink, Alicia Keys, Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, Madonna, Cher. I'm studying Diana Ross and many of those from even back in the days, all the greats there. Study them and I want you to do this. Do a search for the top female artists, and you can almost guarantee that they are men transgenders to women And I want you to also do this for each decade, and you'll see how long this has been going on. Did you know it's speculated that Pope Francis was born a biological woman and was a transgender, which is why Revelation said he will not meet thee as a woman, but as a man So check Dwayne Wade and Magic Johnson's sons and LeBron James Kanye West has a track record of dating beautiful white trannies, just as Ray J. And Elon Musk has a son that changed to a girl. Check Bill Gates and Zuckerberg and Jeff Bezos' wives. Check Dr. Dre wife and The Rock's wife. It's everyone and everywhere, and in all righteousness I'm saying these things. So I'm not singling out anyone to be fair. I just want to show you how widespread it is, because this is the the Baphomet that's rising here in these times there. And this has been all in our face hidden. This is what's behind the rich and famous. So caution yourself if you want to be rich and famous there. If you want that American dream. If you want to be a Mason there or Eastern Star. Look what they did to Angie Stone after she said that they owed her millions and they was trying to kill her. And she told us in advance, and then it happened weeks later there. She was hit by a car and got out and survived that car accident that flipped the car over several times. And then she was sitting on the side of the road, according to first witnesses. And then a tractor trailer came by and that's what killed her there. So 2 accidents literally back to back there. So don't make deals with the devil. Same happened to Dave Chappelle there. They replaced him with the clone and the same way they did to Jamie Foxx there. You know, for years I had to ask myself, am I a clone there? All the many times they took over cities and put me in hospitals and things of that nature there. I mean, this government has so many secret sciences that you'll have no idea there. You must train yourself to know that no one rich and famous is exempt from the Baphomet worship. And if they don't change genders, they must engage in the gay lifestyle. So train yourself to know being gay comes in all images, even many such as the likes of the Hells Angels, the bike gangs, the likes of people big like Shaquille O'Neal and The Rock and Tyler Perry, Eddie Murphy, Rick Ross, DJ Kelly, to those small as Kevin Hart, Kurt Franklin and Floyd Mayweather and Diddy and Jay-Z and Chris Brown and Ray J and Chance the Rapper and your favorite hip-hop artists the Breakfast Club it's people like Drake and when I was growing up I only thought that gays were girly feminine, so this is why I explain these things, but I come to learn, especially living in New York City, that gays come in all sizes and shapes, and even the masculine and the buff there. So most of your street, and they even the suit and tie behind the pulpits there. Most of your street gangs and drug cartels and drug dealers are Baphomet worshipers and also engage in homosexuality. Most of your social media stars. So I named a few just to open your eyes, because in all fairness, it's not just them, it's everyone. Baphomet worship is all your celebrities, not just some. Even your gospel artists and mega churches such as T.D. Jakes. And he did what many Ponzi schemes do. He changed leadership there, and now everyone's flocking to his daughter, not realizing that her secrets are yet to be exposed. She's in the same as him there. Satan is not allowing you on a global stage or on a worldwide or national or even a state level stage audience without taking his marks there. So everyone on social media with millions of followers are suspect there, and they all engage in human sacrifices for money and power. Did you not notice how Jennifer Hudson's entire family was killed and then she blew up 3 years later? And even Kanye said that his mother was killed for a sacrifice, and 3 years later after her death, he had My Beautiful Dark Fantasy album there. So if you ever want to see, and I studied this thick and through, this sacrificing to Satan, because it's very hidden. If you ever want to see who sacrifices loved one to Satan, you take the year of the death, and you add 3 years for that person to get, for the person who sacrificed him to get paid out. And if the person died of like an illness, like cancer, then add 3 years before the date of death for the sickness to occur. And sometimes it comes with like stage 2 cancer that kills them 3 years later. And then 3 years after that comes the payout to someone there. So the doctors and the lawyers are all involved in this, and even your neighbors and all your loved ones engage because everyone does this, not just the celebrities there. You could take any celebrity, see when they dropped the album, and look 3 years before that album, you'll see somebody died there. Check everyone in your life that has money right now, and then check the deaths that are around them and do the math there. So even everyone's engaging in sacrificing people, passing them under the fire of Moloch there. And so the Travis Scott Astroworld concert was a mass sacrifice ritual. world. Yet people keep flocking to these celebrities and their concerts there. These are people that they channel demons there. Even Michael Jackson was a channeler there. Michael Jackson also threw a lot of Baphomet hand signs. A lot of people don't catch that there. So all these celebrities are channelers there. They make their body a vessel for a spirit to dwell in, and that's how they perform and things of that nature there. And then they cast curses on you there. And so the numbers never lie. The legal system and the police and the banks, they're all in on it, and because they're all Masons, and they pay out people through personal injury settlements. So follow who gets personal injury settlements in your life, or some other lump sum form to hide their payout there. Maybe an investment in their business or something like that. And I know because the offer was made to me by the Illuminati, and I declined it. They give you $700,000 in cash. They offer me $700,000 in cash, a luxury mansion of my choice anywhere in the world that I want to live, a luxury car of my choice, any type of car, and a high 6 or 7 figure job. I was already making high 6 figures there. So I turned down the offers of Satan there. So anyone that you see now just coming into money, you have to know that these people made a deal with the devil there. Everyone is sacrificing their loved ones to Satan. This is Baphomet worship, and that's why everyone in their lives is always dying. They're always surrounded by deaths and funerals, which are Masonic rituals to harvest energy by their Masonic pastors there. And it's all your favorite artists and athletes as well. They must take and actors and actresses. They must take the marks of the beast of Rome and the Jews, because that's who's ruling over the earth right now, in order to be rich and famous there. Even in the church systems, even in a lot of those Israelite camps there, such as IUIC, who received like $250 million from the Jews or the Romans there. And once you make a deal with them, you're always under blood oaths of secrecy that if you talk, they die. Just like Bernie Mac died when he tried to tell us the secrets about cloning there. Or Max Spears or Damon Barry there, who taught us about Egypt and things of that nature. Or if you look at any of your social media stars like Young Pharaoh and the Bully Slayer and so forth, if you see a celebrity disappear, when they reappear, they are cloned there. Bobby Hemmett had about 2 or 3 clones. There's a company named Clonade where they create humans from scratch and personalize it there. They did this for Disney stars. So I want you to check the latest Avatar movie TV series, where they created those actors to look exactly like the cartoon that came out decades ago. Watch a movie called Boys from Brazil, where they cloned Hitler and then compare Hitler to the Israeli leader Benjamin Netanyahu there. Do the same thing with Donald Trump, with Alex Crowley there. He looks and acts like Hitler. Also study Donald Trump. There's a difference between when he wears a red tie and when he wears a blue tie. The red tie is the real Trump, and all others are clones. It's speculated that Elon Musk has a few clones, and all with different agendas from the cabal. And these are people. Many of these people are not humans. You should see the reptiles in their eyes there. All those in media and entertainment and politics. That's why they use a lot of the liquid green screen technologies to make them look human and mask their reptilians. Check their eyes. Watch the movie They Live there. Human cloning is a secret hidden from the world. So watch the Gemini Man movie with Will Smith, and also study Michael Jackson, because he had tons of clones. And it's alleged that the real Michael Jackson died after the Pepsi commercial or either left the scene and let his clones out to the masses. Another thing, we must stop letting ourselves be deceived by those so-called baby bumps and pregnancies. They have scientists to make a baby bump look real, just as in the case of Beyonce and Venus Williams, Rihanna's, and the likes of those. There's others who engage in human sacrifices for rich and fame. And you must know that everything begins with celebrities, and their job is to sell it to the masses. And because all we consume every day and all day is celebrity worship, either you're watching their movies where they love to put gayness in your faces and people don't even notice. Check Tyler Perry, who secretly went into gay clubs and stole the Medea character. You'll always have a gay a guy who's gay in real life, but he's now playing a straight role with a very attractive woman. And he's always naked in movies and scenes filled with lust. And it's something about transgenders that makes them overly sexual, and they sell this to the masses. We consume and listen to their music, watch their videos, watch their sports, watch their social media pages and content. They're our fashion designers, and so we dress like them. And even fashion is weaponized as they put deadly chemicals in the fabrics. And when you look at the male underwear, you can see how they are trying to sterilize us. Watch this movie called TV series called Utopia. I'll just say that the fruits need to hang just like natural fruits, and not be bunched up like most underwear. Even toilets are designed to cause bodily harm. And so this is where we get all the skinny jeans and the tight jeans, on guys came from, and all the colorful underwear and genderless clothing brands. And then every guy must sag their pants and show you their butts and colorful and designer underwear there. And I want everyone to notice the prison industry. If someone goes to prison, they come out, more likely they come out gay or bisexual or DL, and then they sell the youth that prison is a cool place to be. They gave prisoners social media and phones, and now you see all those in prison videos attracting the youth and homeless, and those that seek to live without any bills and get free shelter and free food and showers. And so many are going to prison or something that gives them street cred. But prison is also a gay trap and a scientific lab trap, and few escape prison without becoming gay there. And then these same DL criminals comes home and become dealers and pimps or criminals protected by the police, because the system must have images to sell to all demographics. And this is what they sell to the poor. Many of your drug dealers are DL gay, bisexual, hidden behind beards. And many DL gays catch STDs and they give it to the woman. Check why all these women are getting AIDS and stuff like that, and HIV. Check Usher, how he had to settle millions by spreading STDs there. Everyone is saying Atlanta is the black gay New York City, and study how the Gentiles are bringing this gay culture all over Africa there. There are political leaders, which is why gays have more protection under the law than blacks, and they receive more funding there. And if you're looking for a job nowadays, they even ask for your sexual orientation on job applications, in addition to your racial identity. And speaking against gays is like being anti-Semitic. It's like speaking against the Jews. They label it hate crimes, and what many don't, criminal hate crimes. And what many don't know is governments around the world have spent billions on gender-changing surgeries. Check all those girly guys in Thailand, even the militaries. The Israeli military is very gay, just like America and most countries there. So it's not just limited to the rich or certain sectors or certain industries or certain type of people, because even Medicaid covers gender change surgery, yet they don't cover dental implants. And if you have a therapist or psychiatrist, they might be gay too and filling you with all their gayness there. Even teachers. And after working 19 years on Wall Street, managing different industries and a lot of powerful people, movers and shakers in the world, what I want to say is that the majority of the wealthy are gay or bisexual because they feel women will hold them back in their careers, women and children there. So if you look at all the military, all the spending that the military did, and the government did, and insurance companies are doing, to cover these gender changing surgeries where even poor people can change their genders there. And what's alarming is think about the children who have young, innocent minds, and they are worshiping them all day because parents are not being parents. And what the child does is say he wants to be like Beyonce, or they're sexually or like Kanye West, or they're sexually confused. And what doctors are doing is using the sexual confusion on children to place a medical diagnosis. And that medical diagnosis can be for them to change their genders and undergo surgery or take hormones or be counseled by a gay doctor. And even some states give child rights over parents. Okay, so I'm gonna have some signal issues here. Bear with me if the video ever gets disconnected. I'll just post this one and link the other one in my profile. But hopefully, we don't get disconnected there. So where were we here? So, and even some states give child rights over to parents, where you can lose your child legally if they give them a diagnosis and you resist. So they label that as parental neglect of care, and that's why you must caution your children in schools, because the job of schools and even other children is to still the souls of the youth while they are young. And I'm even seeing reports on social media that a lot of schools allegedly are secretly vaccinating their children there. And it's not just the schools, it's also the jobs where many develop co-workers as close friends. And we know gays are taking all the jobs there along with migrants. And it's in the churches where the pastors are also DL gay masons preying on little children. See what happened to Bishop Eddie Long with all those gay boys he molested and paid out with church money there, and then turned around and died and buried himself in an expensive gold coffin like Michael Jackson there. And within 1 to 2 years of this gender change surgery, you can go from looking like a macho buff dude to a female with an hourglass shaped body there. It blows my mind. I mean, I got to look at these videos all the time because it's like I never knew anything like this existed there. When you see all these transition videos on social media, it's that quick nowadays with all the technologies and the sciences. And no matter how much surgeries one does, you cannot escape this fact. You cannot change genders. Biological males still have X and a Y chromosome, and biological females still have a double X chromosome, which is why you'll see transgenders having babies, because when a female becomes a man, she can still get pregnant, and it's a sickening thing to see a pregnant man. But this is how it happens there. And the only way for natural childbirth is for a male and a female to come together, producing a child, whereby the child receives an X chromosome from the mother and the father determines the sex. If the child gets an Y chromosome from the father, he becomes a boy. And if they receive an X from the child, becomes born a female. This cannot be escaped even if you change your gender and take hormones. So this provides some light to the origins of the Baphomet worship that, they rooted in scriptures there. I can't get too detailed, so I don't want to get my page blocked. But this way of thinking is also behind pedophiles who prey on the young and innocent virgins there, and also for their adrenochrome. Study the state of Israel and the Vatican, how they put their mouths on the baby private parts there, during their rituals there, and all the billions that the banks had to pay out for their roles in trafficking there, all the banks in America. And so there's secret tunnels, underground Disney, and many major cities and deep underground bases. And even Dick Cheney said, if you want to know where all the missing children are, check underneath the Washington Monument there. That's why he's always guarded with armed soldiers. And then they killed him. The same way Joan Rivers came out and called Obama gay and called Michelle Obama a man, and then she ended up dying there. And if you study other cultures around the world, you'll see how many have young age of consents and how many adults are marrying children. And even Enoch speaks about the fallen angels sinning against the animals. The Gentiles do the same. Many have sex with children and sex with animals. Study Asia there. And when you think of Gentiles, you must think of people that never dealt with the Most High, godless people, lawless people. They're into public nudity and public sex there. And my son was telling me, even at the gym, he didn't notice that he was working out, and he had a gay guy just like staring at his sexual area and stuff like that, and he felt like so uncomfortable there. But this is their ways, and they don't have the same God as the Israelites, these Gentiles. This is why the Most High is against marriage with the Gentiles there. And so Jubilees chapter 26 verse 32 there, we have to understand the predestination and predetermination that was upon Esau and Jacob. And so Jubilees chapter 26 verse 32, and Esau said to Isaac his father, have you but one blessing, O father? Bless me even also, my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac answered and said to him, Behold, far from the dew of the earth shall be your dwelling, and far from the dew of heaven from above. And by your sword will you live, and you will serve your brother. And it shall come to pass, when you shall become great, and do shake his yoke from off your neck, you shall sin a complete sin unto death, and your seed shall be rooted out from under heaven. And Esau kept threatening Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. Then he said in his heart, May the days of mourning for my father now come, so that I may slay my brother Jacob. So this is the mindset and the culture of Esau. He never learned the ways of the Most High. Jacob was a man that stayed home to know the ways of the Most High. Jacob and Isaac. So Esau lives by blood and by the sword and by deception. That's why he's always at war. America and Israel has been in wars and conflicts almost every year since their birth. And you'll see how this world has so much violence and blood. Just look at all the movies and all the television shows. They're so evil and so demonic. And so let me also expose the Jews. They built massive underground bunkers. And what they seek to do is put their people underground while they instigate nuclear war in the world. They know that the destruction that will come from all the wars will kill masses, especially nuclear war. And so they seek to get rid of the masses so that they can enslave the few that can survive. And that's how sick the Israelis are, and why they're starting wars with so many countries right now, and why they have the Samson option there. More nuclear weapons than anywhere in the world, but they have you focus on Iran there. And also search when they was in South Africa. They also had nuclear weapons in South Africa there, right before when apartheid ended. And so you must know your enemy to be able to conquer your enemy. These are some of the ways of the Gentiles and the Edomites. Everyone's waiting for future marks of the beast, not realizing that many marks of the beast are present already, and that we must remove all marks of the beast. We all have work to do. You have to have faith and works in the Most High. The beast is Satan, and homosexuality is a mark of the beast, just as transgenders and gender change there. So let's get into some scriptures here. Jubilees chapter 1. And it came to pass in the first year of the exodus of the children of Israel out of Egypt, and the third month on the 16th day of the month, that Yahuwah spoke to Moses, saying, Come up to me on the mount, and I will give you 2 tables of stone of the Torah and the covenant, which I have written, that you may teach them. And Moses went up to the mount of Yahuwah, and the splendor of Yahuwah abode on Mount Sinai, and a cloud overshadowed it for 6 days. And he called to Moses on the 7th day out of the midst of the cloud, and the appearance of the splendor of Yahuwah was like a flaming fire on the top of the mount. And Moses was on the mount 40 days and 40 nights. And Yahuwah taught him the earlier and the latter history of the division of all the days of the Torah and of the testimony. And he said, Incline your heart to every word which I shall speak to you on this mount, and write them in a book, in order that their generations may see how I have not forsaken them for all the evil which I have wrought in transgression the covenant which I established between me and you for their generations this day on Mount Sinai. And it came to pass to when all these things come upon them, that they would recognize that I am more righteous than they in all their judgments and in all their actions, and they would recognize that I have been truly with them. And do write for yourself all these words which I declare unto this day for you, for I know their rebellion and their stiff neck, before I bring them into the land of which I swore to their forefathers, to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, saying, Unto your seed will I give a land flowing with milk and honey. That's sub-Sahara Africa, not the land of Israel and the Levant. And they will eat and be satisfied, and they will turn to strange gods, to gods which cannot deliver them out of their tribulation. And this witness shall be heard for a witness against them, for they will forget all my commandments, even all that I command them. And they will walk after all the Gentiles, and after their uncleanness, and after their shame, and will serve their gods. And these will prove unto them an offense and a tribulation and an affliction and a snare. So we got to remove all these ways of the Gentiles there. And many will perish, and they will be taken captive, and will fall into the hands of the enemy, because they have forsaken my ordinance and my commandments and festivals and my covenant and my Sabbath and my Kodesh place, which I have hallowed for myself to their midst, and my tabernacle and my sanctuary, which I have hallowed for myself in the midst of the land, that I should set my name upon it, and that it should dwell there. So there's more to the law than just the 10 Commandments there. And they will make to themselves high places and groves and graven images. And they will worship each his own graven image, so as to go astray. And they will sacrifice their children to demons and to all the works of the error of their hearts. And I will send witness unto them, that I may witness against them, but they will not hear, and will slay the witnesses also. And they will persecute those who seek the Torah. And they will abjurate and change everything as to work evil before my eyes. And I will hide my face from them. And I will deliver them into the hand of the Gentiles for prey and for devouring. And I will remove them from the midst of the land, and I will scatter them amongst the Gentiles. And they will forget all my Torah and all my commandments and all my judgments, and will go astray as to new moons and Sabbaths and festivals and jubilees and ordinances. And after this, they will turn to me from amongst the Gentiles with all their heart and with all their soul and with all their strength. And I will gather them from amongst the Gentiles, and they will seek me, so that I shall be found of them, when they seek me with all their heart and with all their soul. And I will disclose, and you have to do this even in the midst of this fire, in the midst of the tribulation. When you stand on truth, you're going to get persecuted, but the Most High is going to be there with you. And I will disclose to them abundant shalom with righteousness, and I will remove them from the plant of uprightness with all my heart and with all my soul, that they should be a blessing and not for a curse, and they should be the head and not the tail. And I will build my sanctuary in their midst, and I will dwell with them, and I will be Yahuwah, their sovereign ruler, and they should be my people in truth and righteousness. And I will not forsake them nor fail them, for I, the Yahuwah, their sovereign ruler, there. And Moshe had fell on his face and prayed, and Yahuwah, our sovereign ruler, do not forsake your people and your adherents, so that they should wander in the error of their hearts, and do not deliver them in the hands of their enemies, the Gentiles, lest they should rule over them and cause them to sin against you. So you got to get this out your head, that we can make peace with the enemy there, and everybody can get along, and the Most High is looking to save the entire world there. Let your mercy, O Yahuwah, be lifted up of your people, and create in them an upright spirit, and let not the spirit of Baal rule over them, or Belial rule over them, to accuse them before you, and to ensnare them from all the paths of righteousness, so that they may perish before your face. But they are your people and your inheritance. We are the inheritance of the Most High, which you have delivered with your great power from the hands of the Egyptians. Create in them a clean heart and a Kodesh spirit, and let them not be ensnared in their sins from henceforth until eternity there. And then Yahuwah said to Moses in verse 22, I know their contriteness and their thoughts and their stiff-neckedness, and they will not be obedient till they confess their own sin and the sin of their fathers there. And after this, they will turn to me in all uprightness and with all their heart and with all their soul, and I will circumcise the foreskin of their heart and the foreskin of their heart of their seed, and I will create in them a Kodesh spirit, and I will cleanse them, so that they shall not turn away from me from that day until eternity. And their souls will cleave to me and to all my commandments, and they will fulfill my commandments, and I will be their Abba, and they will be my children. And they all shall be called children of the living Yahuwah, and every Malach and every spirit shall know this, they shall know that these are my children, and that I am their Abba in uprightness and righteousness, and that I love them. And so, and do right for yourself these words which I declare unto you on this mountain, the first and the last, which shall come to pass in all the divisions of the days in the Torah, and in the testimony, and the weeks and the jubilees unto eternity, until I descend and dwell with them throughout eternity. There. So the Hamashiach did not come to destroy the law. He came to fulfill the law, and the laws and the commandments are still there. But because of our stiff neck and our hard-headedness, there many people are rejecting the laws and the commandments and the ordinance and you know, the everything about the Most High there. And so Jubilees chapter 25 verse 3. And now, my son, hearken to my voice, and do the will of your mother, and do not take you a wife of the daughters of this land, but only of the house of my father and of my father's kindred. And you're reading the book of Jubilees, how the Most High wanted to, his intentions was to have a pure bloodline there, unmixed and untainted with different, you know, peoples there. So it says to take a wife of the daughters of this land, but only of the house of my father and of my father's father's kindred. You shall take you a wife of the house of my father, and the Most High Yahuwah will bless you, and your children shall be righteous generation in a Kodesh seed. So the Most High is not going to bless you, and you're not going to be righteous if you're taking, wives of the Gentiles there. Because that's part of disobedience to the Most High. And Jubilees chapter 30, verse 7. And if there be in Jubilees chapter 30, we're talking about what happened to Dinah there. So this is another story about warning against marrying with the Gentiles. And so Jubilees chapter 30 verse 7. And if there is there's any man who wishes Israel to give his daughter or his sister to any man who is of the seed of the Gentiles, he shall surely die. And they shall stone him with stones, for he has wrought shame in Israel. And they shall burn the woman with fire, because she has dishonored the name of the house of her father, and she shall be rooted out of Israel there. So this is why they're promoting this interracial marriages there, and they're starting with the celebrities. The celebrities are the puppets that people follow there, and this was also testified, prophesied to be, if you read the testament of Levi and the testament of the 12 patriarchs there. So in the testament of Levi, in verse 14, it says, therefore, my children, I have learned that at the end of the ages you shall transgress the law of the Yahuwah, stretching out hands to wickedness against him, and to all the Gentiles shall you become a scorn. For our father Israel is pure, and from to transgressions of the chief priests, who shall lay their hands on the Savior of the world. For as the heaven is purer in the Yahuwah's sight than the earth, so also be ye, the light of Israel, purer than all the Gentiles. But if ye be darkened through transgressions, what therefore will the Gentiles do, living in blindness? Ye shall bring a curse upon our race, because the light of the law which was given to lighten every man, this ye desire to destroy, by teaching commandments contrary to the ordinance of Elohim. The offerings of the Yahuwah shall ye rob, and from his portion shall ye steal choice portions, eating them contemptuously with harlots. And out of covetousness you shall teach commandments of the Yahuwah. Wedded woman shall ye pollute, and the virgins of Jerusalem shall ye defile, and with harlots and adulteress shall you be joined, and the daughters of the Gentiles shall you take for wives, purifying them with an unlawful purification. And your union shall be like unto Sodom and Gomorrah. There, remember what I was saying? Sodom and Gomorrah, it was more than just homosexuality with Sodom and Gomorrah. There, we also had a lot of unlawful purification, unlawful dating, and unlawful marriaging going on there too, even in the straight way there. And you shall be puffed up because of your priesthood, lifting yourselves up against men, and not only so, but also against the commandments of Elohim. For ye shall condemn the holy things with the jest and the laughter there. So it's interesting when you're reading a lot of these books that were removed from the scriptures. I just got done reading the lost books of Adam and Eve there. Now there was one thing in it that kind of got me, because there was one verse where it says, and God cannot be black there. But one thing about the story about the Adam and Eve, it gets into how Satan has been deceiving a lot of people with this thing called the New Age religion and New Age worship there, where you could become your own God there, and by raising your Kundalini energy and working your 7 chakras and so forth, of that nature there. So it spoke a lot more about that story there. But when you read a lot, and also one thing I also noticed, a lot of parallels between the lost books of Adam and Eve and the story of the Messiah in the New Testament there. So I thought that was some interesting things there too. So make sure you always study even these books that are not included in the canon there, and just study for just the knowledge that they reveal. So study Ezra's there. He had an account on the priests putting away their strange wives there. And so the fact of the matter is that this world is rebellious against the Most High, and those they came can't win with their homosexuality agenda, they win others through interracial dating, marriages, and child reproduction, which are all regulated in the Torah laws and commandments. But since everyone was said that we can love whom we wish and love how we wish, and love has no colors and love has no genders, many miss these warnings in scriptures there. And when you hear everyone saying that the real self is the spirit, they do this to claim genderless, and they also do this because they claim the body is sinning but the soul can never sin. These are all promotions of lawlessness there. And the job of Satan is to tempt you into breaking the Most High laws and commandments. The Most High is against Jacob marrying and reproducing with the Gentiles there. And the Most High hates Esau. This is part of the covenant laws and the commandments there. But yet we see so much interracial dating amongst our people. Scriptures reveal that there is an order to the holy family, being that of male, female, producing a child there. One is electric energy, and one is magnetism there. So you get electric magnetic beings there. And this is on the light level there. We're creatures of light there. And the reason why they sell us so much interracial marriages is twofold. They fear genetic annihilation of the world majority there, and they are the world's minority population there. And they play it out when you watch sports. You see games with big brown balls like football and basketball. Fast-paced environments there. Blacks normally do better in those sports. You see games with a small white ball like baseball and golf. Whites normally do better in that. So this is like the battle of seas that it kind of plays out there. And so they must keep the black male and the black female away from each other. There's when I watched the latest Matrix movie, they said they need to keep Neo and Trinity so close together, but not enough to come together there as one, basically. They hate Africa and Africans because of the vast natural resources versus their destitute and barren lands. They hate the fact that blacks have highly advanced civilizations and they lived as animals. They hate the fact that blacks taught the world all world knowledge, which contradicts their claims of white superiority. They hate history because our history is so vast and rich with success that they can never duplicate. That's why they hide all world history that they can't whitewash. And Esau tried to even claim the identity of Ham because of Ham's greatness there. They do the same with Shem and even Japheth, and we see that they're doing it with Jacob there. They hate their skin, that it cannot take the natural sunlight there, and blacks are meant to absorb the sun, and the skin is the largest organ on the body there. And hence, they have a warning on maps called the Tropic of Cancer, where they can't live because it gives them cancer. They hate that they come from harsh, cold climates, and blacks live in tropical areas rich in all forms of life and vegetation. They also hate the color black skin, and so they want to create a new black race from interbreeding the races to lighten the skin color of the black race, just as they did with the Egyptians there. So they have this one-drop rule, where if you have a touch of black blood, even 1%, then you're labeled black. And this is how Pope Leo is trying to claim his blackness in order to steal the hearts of blacks by making them think he's one of our own and after our kind. Just as Donald Trump did by getting locked up and all these criminal charges, and then coming out with sneakers there. And you buy this up and say, oh, he's one of us now there. Even though most mixed kids identify with their lighter side over their black side, check those mulattoes and mixed children. Elijah Muhammad, Fard Muhammad, Louis Farrakhan, Barack Obama. They're all mixed whites and blacks, but yet they choose their white side over their black side, while they secretly convert with their demonic white side there. And in case you haven't heard, President Obama is related to President Bush, just as 99% of all American presidents are related by bloodline there. And so politics is just a show like Hollywood. It's secret Masonic worship there, all under this one world confederacy of nations to come against Jacob and try to erase our identities. And we got to stop calling people for what they are. These mixed people are not black. They are not white. They're mixed. That's something completely different, but they hide their newness behind being called black there. And so they're trying to light out what it means to be black. So you're creating a new black through eugenics, and after a few generations of doing this, black becomes white there. This was a symbolism, and they cloned Tyrone movie, like at the end of the movie there. And that's how they conquered the Moors and Europe and Asia, which was all black in their origins, and then they whitewashed them. They eliminate the blackness in your bloodline, a silent form of conquering you, and it all begins with something simple as what you think is love and sex there. Study Europe and ancient America, Asia, anywhere in the world, and you'll see how the original populations went from black to brown to yellow to white. And I bet a lot of white Europeans didn't know this, that Europe started out black there. And that's another job, and so that's another job of the porn industry, to sell us their lust, their white women and gays, and to keep us focused on sex. And that's also an easy way to spot a transgender, because all these women that are so overly sexual, such as Beyonce and Kim Kardashian, are really men biologically. Real women are not that sexual in public, to the public and masses. So when you see them overly sexual in that way, the way they dress and present themselves, chances are they are transgenders and not biological women. And many are addicted to beauty. Additionally, many chosen ones are isolated and have no friends and no support systems. And it's almost as if they created gays to be a fail-safe support system for all those that are isolated and have no friends or family. Gays become your best friend, like brothers with sticky glue. And when you look at many who lost their childhood friends and no one now they're all surrounded by gay friends there, and what we must come to understand is that 99% of all humans, and at some point in your life, you either had a gay or a curious experience, even if it was forced, like in the case of rape or something like that, or abuse as a child there, because that's how the enemy has been operating there. So don't hate on those that are under these attacks and under the curse and going through these things. Educate them and enlighten them there. And so Isaiah chapter 1 here, Isaiah chapter 1 verse 1, the vision of Isaiah the son of Amos, which he saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem, and the days of Uzziah, Jotham, Ahaz, Hezekiah, kings of Judah. Hear, O heavens, and give ear, O earth, for the Yahuwah has spoken. I have nourished and brought up children, and they have rebelled against me. The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib. But Israel don't know, nor my people doth not consider. A sinful nation, a people laden with iniquity, a seed of evildoers, children that are corrupters. They have forsaken the Yahuwah. They have provoked the Holy One of Israel unto anger. They are going away backward. Why should you be stricken anymore? You will revert more and more. The whole head is sick and the whole heart is faint. From the sole of the feet unto the head, there is no soundness in it, but wounds and bruises and putrefying sores. They have been clothed. They have not been closed, neither bound up, neither mollified with ointment. Your country is desolate. Your cities are burnt with fire. Your land, strangers devour it in your presence, and it is desolate as overthrown by strangers. And the daughter of Zion is left as a cottage in a vineyard, as a lodge in a garden of cucumbers, as a besieged city. Except the Yahuwah of hosts have left unto us a very small remnant, we should have been as Sodom, and we should have been like unto Gomorrah. Hear ye the word of the Yahuwah, ye rulers of Sodom. Give ear unto the Lord of our Elohim, ye people of Gomorrah. There. And so we're living in a nation. At one point, we were a living nation, and it's described in scriptures and hidden from world history. And because of the sins of our forefathers, the Most High sent forth us to the curses of Deuteronomy chapter 28. And that's why everyone should have a great study and understanding of Deuteronomy chapter 28, the blessings and the curses. We experienced the harsh and the brutal curses for a sign and a wonder of our true identities. But our identities are not those that we have come to give life to. Most people don't even know themselves. We only know the self that was given to us, the identities, the marks of the beast, the thoughts and the actions of this system that we're emulating in our lives there. Excuse me. So we must abandon the ways of the Gentiles and return to the covenant to be a holy people unto the Most High. And so I began to study by reviewing the origins of the Baphomet worship and the gay agenda. And so in order for the gay agenda to be successful, the enemy must destroy the black family and the holy family design of male, female, and child. So read the Willie Lynch letters, study how they used the slave Bible to sell that all blacks were cursed by the Most High. This is a Mormon doctrine as well. Study how they used to cook and eat slaves, how they stripped skin off our bodies to make shoes and clothing, how they castrated the males, how they would cut off our sexual organs and hold them as trophies, how they lynched us on crosses and trees, how they stripped the masculine out of men and made them more feminine. Many slave masters raped the men and the women how they did it in front of people to basically take away your masculinity and all your pride, how they forced their gods on us. They gave us a new language, removed all traces of our history, and committed the worst horrible crimes in human history against the Israelites of scriptures, who are what we call blacks and Africans and Negroes today. And so the book of Joel, chapter 3, for behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, I will also gather all nations and bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered amongst the nations and parted my land. And they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for a harlot, and sold a girl for wine, that they might drink. Ye, and what will I have to do with me, O Tyre and Sidon, and all the coast of Palestine? Will ye render me a recompense? And if ye recompense me, swiftly and speedily will I return your recompense upon your own head. Because you have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things, the children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians, that ye might remove them far from their border. And we know from Revelation chapter 13, verse 9, if any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints there. And so this destruction of the holy black family began long before slavery. It began when the Israelites began mixing with the Gentiles, learning their ways, marrying with them, reproducing with them. Because what's happening now was happening back then too. And that's the Babylon and Egypt and Greece and Rome no one wants you to know. And the Solomon know that no one talks about. And why many Masons revere Solomon and liken him to Harem Abith and Osiris there. And then came slavery, which brought total spiritual destruction and the complete erasure of our identities, and we became as the Gentiles spiritually. And what I want you to also do is expose the enemy. The enemy knew that the Messiah will be born amongst Generation X, and our children born into Generation Z. So if you study the breakdown of the family and how there's a major disconnect amongst the parents that are in Generation X, like my generation, and they're in the 40s, and their children in Generation Z, that's now teenagers or in their 20s, there's a big disconnect there. And it would explain how many in Generation Z have become gay and transgenders, as if they're a sacrifice generation for those Generation X secret Masonic parents there. This is what is behind America when they mass funded the higher education to get blacks into colleges, because all colleges are traps into Greek letter organizations, which is another trap into masonry. All your teachers are Masons and Greek letter organizations, just as in the churches there. And in Generation X, Greek letter organizations saw their biggest increase in memberships there. What I could say is like 99% of the people I went to school with are and in Greek letter organizations and Masonry. And then we wonder why we have this YN culture in Generation Z, which they even targeted Generation Z in the automatic American military draft of 18 to 24-year-olds there. So check all your new laws. And we know Israel is going to drag America into its wars because, Esau rules with blood. And this is all about sacrificing harvesting energy and bringing evil on the earth. I also want to add that once black men and black women fell out of love with each other, and the tribulation pressures of raising Generation X parents focusing on a career and being so troubled to raise their Generation Z children, many parents are running from themselves and their children by becoming gay. And so, in other words, they had kids so bad and so attacked by the system that they'd rather be gay than have more kids or be parents. That's many of the women and men of today. So back to slavery. This is what drives me. So before I do that here, to go into slavery, I'm just gonna take a quick bathroom break, and I'll be right back. And to this video, tell your friends and family that we're live here today, and we're gonna pick it up here back in slavery here. And this is what makes me so sick here, because blacks have forgotten who let me just say who we are, and that they act as the Gentiles there. And what I mean by this is that blacks have become so violent, so hateful, so destructive, so greedy, so lustful and prideful, and so materialistic there. Like, how can you be materialistic and want to live in this American culture of being lazy and getting drunk and high all day, when that's what got us here in the first place? You celebrate doing the things our parents were forced to be slaves to produce. How crazy are you there? Did you not know what products were produced during slavery? Did you not know that many slaves had to work on drug fields to produce illegal drugs? That's something that's history hides there. And drugs are nothing new. They had drugs in ancient Egypt. If you check those Egyptian mummies, they all had cocaine in their mouths there. And if they had cocaine, they had crack. And if they had cocaine, they had crystal meth and other drugs. And never forget, the Egyptians were first to enslave us. And what I want to also add here is that gays and drugs go hand in hand. This also exposed that many of our leaders are on drugs there. Even Elon Musk was exposed for this as well. So, did you fail to take an active ownership in learning your true history? You were slaves, so whites can be lazy, get drunk, smoke cigarettes, because that's the main products that were produced during slavery, and get high off of drugs there. They weren't doing anything righteous, for the people or towards the Most High, or trying to advance civilization in a righteous way. We were forced to be slaves and labeled subhuman and lied lied and they told us that we came from apes and we were cursed. Also, whites can enjoy luxuries without any labors. And then they sell us movies like Planet of the Apes, but they never check their buttocks and their own lips to see that that they have the ape lips and butts and not us there. And all whites, they're still in our lands and our souls, just as the new Sinners movie, with those vampires there. And never forget, America, Europe, Asia, Africa was built off the backs of black slaves, just as today. They want to bring slavery back under the guise of Project 2025 and the New World Order. And Trump already, and the one world currency, and what is it called? Their one world currency and universal income there. And Trump already completed 65% of Project 2025 into law already. That's why they're going after birthright citizenship and building slave labor camps by the masses there. And all while robbing the poor and funding the rich there. The same they're doing today, because you still had this slave. We still got this slave mentality. You work a 9-to-5 slave job, come home and do the things a slave does by worshiping those house slave puppets and overseers, and all while being overtaxed slaves. And then intoxicate your mind by some device, then have sex and make more slaves, or catch a STD to fuel the pharmaceutical industry, and then you wake up and do it again the next day while chasing a dollar and the American dream that you'll never have, and chasing a big butt and a smile, and giving your children to the foster care system, which is another form of trafficking there. And so we got to remember that they killed Dr. King even after he sold us out, and he was heavy into cheating on Coretta with those white girls. And so Esau and Gentiles, they're like heartless creatures there. At least those on this side of the earth, and because that's another sad thing. What if the whites on the other side of the earth aren't as racist? The whites here would make you never want to trust a white again, even if a white man was God there. Like Esau, his destructiveness should be eliminated from human history and all powers, even though it's difficult to separate Esau from the whitewashing of the Japheth there. And that's how bad whites are on this side of in our circle or sphere. They never told us that one. There's a lot to learn. There's more worlds on this flat earth under the dome and beyond the poles, and even inner earth, and even under the waters, and even under the ice in Antarctica there. It's crazy what we don't know, because we live a life that's like a programmed slave trapped in a box like a Kaaba or a Masonic Saturn's cube there, square in a circle, running in endless circles of traps there. A robot that does the same things every day over and over again, expecting a different result there. And this is the Webster definition of crazy or insane there. When I was younger, I used to read and study the whole dictionary. Even when I was living in the city on transit, I would write definitions on index cards and just learn new words every day there. So we have to always learn how to expand our mind. My people, we're acting crazy, and we're suffering from post-traumatic slavery syndrome and cognitive dissonance, and don't even know this, and Stockholm syndrome, and we are not living according to the order or structure the Most High established. And this is why Jacob must rule and reclaim our birthrights under the covenant there. So Jacob was created for righteousness, and Esau was created to fulfill sin. And so Jubilees chapter 26 verse 23 concerning Jacob: and may Yahuwah give you the dew of the heaven and the dew of the earth, and plenty of corn and oil. Let nations serve you, and all peoples bow down to you, and be ruler over your brethren, and let your mother's sons bow down to you. And may all the blessings whereof Yahuwah have blessed me and blessed Abraham my father be imparted to you and to your seed forever. Cursed be he that curses you, and blessed be he that blesses you. There. And so Romans chapter 9 verse 4, who are the Israelites? To whom pertaineth the adoption, the glory, the covenants, the giving of the law, the services of Elohim, and the promises there. And so we can never be replaced as a nation. All that replacement theology with the church or the Gentiles, you could throw them all out the window. Jubilees chapter 2 verse 19. And he said to us, behold, I will separate unto myself a people from amongst all the peoples, and these shall keep the Sabbath day, and I will sanctify them unto myself as my people, and will bless them as I have sanctified the Sabbath day, and do sanctify it unto myself. Even so will I bless them, and they shall be my people, and I will be their sovereign ruler. And I have chosen the seed of Jacob from amongst all that I have seen, and have written him down as my firstborn son, and have sanctified him unto myself forever. And I will teach them the Sabbath day, that they may keep Sabbath therein from all work. And thus he created therein a sign in accordance with which they should keep Sabbath with us on the seventh day, to eat and to drink, and to bless him who has created all things, as he has blessed and sanctified unto himself a peculiar people above all peoples, and that they should keep Sabbath together with us there. And so they successfully separated the black man from the black woman, and now there's more black men in jails, another multi-billion-dollar industry, private industry, where they make money to lock you up in prisons there. And there's more black men in prisons than in black family homes today. Yet scriptures call Jacob righteous and Esau the man of sin that live with sword and blood. And I want you to study plea deals there. Plea deals is a tool that they're using to lock up blacks for when they lack evidence and for made up crimes there. There's no justice in the criminal justice system. Just this, Jesus, Satan there. And now that you have the black man out the family, you have single black mothers raising children. And there's something about black females, single moms raising kids alone that's creating children to be gay or bisexual there. Many children that are gay or bisexual are coming from single parent homes, and they're becoming gay at such young ages, like even under the age of 10 there. And so if you are a black man and have a child, man, get your children and be in their lives actively, because if you don't, you can risk losing your child to this Baphomet gay agenda. It's sad because I was a male single parent father, and I rarely saw another male single parent father when I was taking my sons to schools and stuff like that. I only saw single women and couples there. So you men, you have to get involved with your children's lives, and you have to stay involved in their life. And sadly, to the current state of evil black women, because many single black males don't engage in such gayness around their children. And another thing I noticed was when gays engage in homosexuality, they are still involved in the children's lives there. Like when a guy and a guy gets together, the guy is still involved in their life. But when you have females, when they engage in lesbianism, which is another form of homosexuality, they act as if they're not mothers or parents there. So it's almost as if gay guys don't mind kids, but lesbians hate kids there. So that's just an observation because I like to study everything, even minor details there. So let's talk about some psychology here. Post-traumatic slave syndrome. Blacks and especially black women have been mentally programmed to attack, destroy, and hate black men. Black women have been artificially created to appear as white women on the tabernacles of their hearts. And so by habit, the black female naturally hates herself, just as in slavery. By hating herself, she hates all black men. This black woman will always mate with black men that are below her level of intelligence. She must always maintain the slave master status as her newly acquired white supremacy mentality. Additionally, she will select the lowest of class men to mate if she is in the black community. As black females climb the corporate ladder, their spouses and their mates become non-blacks. Just as in the case when black men climb the corporate ladders, they date non-blacks outside of their race. That's why most celebrities that aren't gay or are married to white women, and additionally, many DL black guys date white women because it seems that they allow the guys to still be DL. And when you look at our struggles, many of our black leaders and those even today that's not cut out of the system, they're dating outside of their race. So a lot of the blacks that you see that's still keeping up their job and their finances, and these times when we're losing our jobs and not being hired, most of them are dating interracial. That because that's another way of they're getting away with this. As a slave master, she will be lazy, evil, have no goals or aspirations or anything that includes working hard to acquire. She will resist all hard work and all motherly instincts. She will regret having her children and be absent in their lives. And if she's involved in her children's lives because of her laziness, she will pressure her children to produce their own income, even if it means by criminal and illegal means. Many single mothers are behind the young boys selling drugs so long as they pay the house bills and put money in mommy's pockets, and as long as mommy doesn't have to work hard and you don't get caught. Because she is programmed to hate all black men, she would even abandon her own sons in her heart. She would not be interested in nurturing, providing, caring for, encouraging, instructing, and guiding young black males. And she would shower him with femininity, softening his masculinity. And what's also interesting is a concept of sleeping with the enemy there. The number one competition to black women is not just a white or Spanish woman who's stealing her black men, but it's gays that are stealing her black men. And interestingly, every gay guy best friends are black women there. I don't know why, but black women, they don't like to hang out with other black women, but they love to hang out with gay guys there, and even bring them around their children. Every black woman that I know is surrounded by gays, even those with children there. So you get these kids that's being exposed to this gay lifestyle at young ages there. And many blacks that are gay or DL, they seem to mix with Latinos or whites. So it's the white and Spanish boys that's stealing black men from black women. And it's because they're doing the things that black women fail to do. So now your housewife or your helpmeet is a gay dude that's filled with so much motherly and wifey characteristics and still has drive for you achieving business success and family planning, whereas black women are competing against and not working with black men counterparts. So now you have successful black single men looking for gay dudes rather than women, black women, because they seek more functional and cooperation in their relationships and someone who wants to also enjoy life. And it's sad to say, and not always argue and bicker all the time. And it's sad to say this, but I think every woman needs to study these gay dudes and perhaps recover what you lost of yourself, because to the men of today, gays are the new woman there. And they study and train to be like you, so they steal your men. And so many black mothers are exposing their children to gay men at young ages, just as the Gentiles. And all because mommy had to have gay friends and bring them home so they can secretly flirt with and mold the young children without mommy even knowing her best gay friend made her children gay, and all before the age of 13. And all behind her back, but still in her face. And let's not forget DL Daddy that hides his gay activities by hiring gay contractors to come and do work on the house, or gay babysitters or assistants, or his homeboys that he's with all day and every day. So I want you to write this down. Gays are doing for men what black women won't do. And lesbians are doing for black women what the black man won't do. And they're doing all these things abundantly and without drama. And it's their pleasure to serve and to be a helpmeet, and drama high, maintenance free. And people are running away from the drama of dating. So they run to the gay lifestyle because the people seem to be more drama free, and they don't gossip your business like black women do, who go around and tell your business to everyone like they're CNN. And what I noticed while studying women is that a lot of women are closet bisexuals with their girlfriends there. I see this more than with the men. Also, what's interesting is that many men like bisexual women because they're into orgies and erotic sex and stuff like that. Also, many women were molested and raped at early ages by older men, and many of those men being family. So they develop a hate towards black men and an aversion to having sex with black men because of their trauma at early ages, or they turn into overly promiscuous lifestyles there. I also want to add, once you study the hidden history of Esau and the Gentiles, aka the caveman and the druggies, you'll notice how many in interracial relationships are bonded by drugs, and many times those drugs are introduced by the white counterpart to the black male or the black female there. So when I ask most druggies, they tell me that they were introduced by drugs by another race there. Because, I took years when I was in the city. I used to just interview everybody, talk to people, do research, all types of stuff there. And so in essence, the black woman would sell them into the black codes of the hierarchical society. The results are black babies must teach themselves how to survive in the world and society that they are born into, all without any guidance from mommy, because now mommy is chasing a career and the kids are in her way of her achieving her dreams and goals. So the kids must raise themselves because mommy doesn't even want to cook meals for them anymore, or mommy is having babies just so that the government can be their daddies and she can sit on her lazy butt and collect from the government, and all while putting her bills in her kids' names, and all while messing up their credits all before they become adults there. One thing that was interesting when I studied social services and the welfare system and all that stuff like that, blacks are highly marginalized there. So whites are the biggest receivers of food stamps, EBT, government assistance, all that stuff there, followed by Hispanics and everybody else but us there. So a lot of kids, a lot of people, they give them these electronic devices, and now many children are networking with pedophiles online and gays online and not even aware of this they're meeting pedophiles on video games and social media, and now all the missing children and molested children, because most gays are lonely, so they're always looking for someone, and they're always looking for that young innocent one. Unfortunately, many learn the hard way. This leads to young black males receiving no emotional development at early ages when they need it the most. That's why a lot of black men don't know how to express themselves. They have a problem with communicating. They have a problem with holding conversations, of substance there, because they didn't get this nurturing when they needed it the most in their early childhood. This also leads to males not balancing their female energy because they are not receiving it from the mother, and it's absent in their household, just like the masculine energy of the father is absent, which is why many young boys are looking for mentors and daddies, and those daddies become another gay male. And many females are looking for mommies because they don't get along with their own mother and they don't get along with their own sisters. So they get a liquor license and seek motherhood from an older gay female. And I also add to this, many siblings don't act like siblings. So many boys are seeking brothers and many sisters are seeking sisters. And this too can lead to gay traps, and all from your friends who secretly fall in love with you and wait for that moment when you're drunk or caught off guard, and then they make a move, and then it's an addiction like crack, because being gay is like a drug. You always need a fix, and very few survive it. No matter how much you spray roaches with Raid, they just keep coming back there. The young black male doesn't have an opportunity to experience what a real woman or mother is about, or if they do, it's a mother who just wants to sit on her bed all day smoking Newports, the cigarettes of blacks, which results in young black males having to define the role of a woman from what they learn from the outside world, a world that hates women. And now they see black women acting and looking as men, and black women being with women sexually. Mommy is sleeping with her girlfriends, or mommy is hoeing around on the low there. The son loses respect for black women because his own black mother represents all black women in his eyes. And if his own black mother wasn't anything, then all black women have no value. Likewise, if his own father is worthless, then he develops hate towards other black men. Black men no longer feel the connection with black women. And I say this because from a child's perspective, the mother and the father represent the entire race, because that's the image they're witnessing at young ages before they learn about the world. The black woman would most likely be single and not able to maintain any consistent relationship. She would never attract a successful black male who liberated his own self from his slave black master mother. Additionally, to to escape slavery, black men take flight to the north through the Underground Railroad, unbeknownst following a Mason in their Masonic ways. So yes, Harriet Tubman was a Mason, just like most of our great leaders there. And another interesting thing about it, so I was watching a spiritual teacher was saying, well, if you talk about gayness and attack gay people, then the spirit of your ancestors can't fight for you, because most of your ancestors were gay, and most of the great leaders and the civil rights and so forth were gay. So just as in slavery, the North made you feel free, even though you discover another form of oppression. That North to the fleeing black man is a white woman, another slave master, or a Spanish woman who forces the black man to take care of her family and convert his lifestyle as if he's a Spanish person, and all while rejecting his own blackness and black family. This same thing could be said of all non-blacks. And another thing I noticed with a lot of interracial couples, it's like the black man is taking care of all their dreams, like all these lofty ideas and high spending and working so hard just to please them. Like, you work so harder for a white woman than you would do for a black woman. Some of the things I seen black men do in interracial marriages, they will never do when they're dating another black. And so these are, when you're dating interracial marriages, it's like you're having a slave master that's seeking to erase the blackness in you. They want our men and our women, but not our blackness and our identities. So check most interracial marriages, and you'll see how the blackness is silenced and the other race is celebrated. It's rare to see an interracial couple that mixes the cultures equally because the white woman will have a better lifestyle and a better treatment in society, and the white wives will allow the black male to experience being a slave master himself with a white woman. Because the woman is white, the black man feels he's getting back at the white society by dominating this white woman in the bedroom during sexual activities. Many interracial marriages began with sexual fantasies being fulfilled because the black woman wouldn't do those things, so now they turn to other races and even gays. And what I'll say is this, word on the streets is black women don't rock the mic and don't give it up, if you know what I mean. So most black women want to bait you into paying their bills and expensive dates and taking care of their kids and getting their hair done and giving them cash allowances and other high maintenance items just to have a date with them. So many black men either say black women are too expensive or too much work. And so everyone loves a thriller and a mystery. Everyone also wants to conquer the most dangerous creatures on the planet. And because the black male is hated by black women and all whites, he becomes the most sought out trophy of status, as if you're not accomplished until you successfully subdue the black man. Look at them Kardashians. All they date is black men. Made a black man a slave. Conquering a black male is like winning the Olympics. You now have the most feared man on the planet under your control, just like the Get Out movie. This is everyone's biggest and wildest dreams, to conquer, subdue, and oppress a black man and turn him into a robot. So what does this white woman do after she conquers this giant lion? She ensures that she sets the law and governs the relationships. Every interracial relationship I know, the black person is controlled by their white or Spanish counterpart. No matter how much money you have, no matter how much power you have, she will never allow herself to be financially dependent on this black slave money. Conversely, if she is dependent upon the black slave to be a provider, she will be mentally control him sexually. Yes, most women control men through sex. And so more likely, she would freely submit to him only during sex. And so to every black male, having a white woman is considered living the American dream, like Dr. King. This black man has now lived Dr. King's dreams from over 60 years ago with integration after civil rights, the Jim Crow, lynching, slavery, black codes, Black Wall Street, Tuskegee. And he is now Malcolm X, and he's now living Dr. King's dream, who secretly chased and sexually engaged with white women himself, and possibly cloned himself into the gay Philly rapper Meek Mill, and all while working secretly with the Jews there. The same Jews that, because they have a habit of recycling celebrities there, if you know what I mean. The same Jews that started the NAACP was not started by a black man there. Just like the song Amazing Grace there. But this black man in the 21st century has now done what Dr. King couldn't do. He can openly flaunt his white prize, his white woman. So in a relationship with black men, it's a mutual affair. During slavery and post-slavery, you couldn't even look at a white woman or a girl. To do so results in Emmett Till. You're hung, you're killed, and your death becomes a celebrated holiday, just like we do every year with Dr. King. Whites has fooled us into celebrating death and defeat and not celebrating life. And so the white woman becomes the mystery thriller for the black man. They are finally getting an opportunity to feel white, to feel accepted by the society that they live and work in. And he finally gets to feel like he's leaving his suffering past identity being black and cursed behind. And so in the bedroom, sex will more than likely be very savage and wild. The white woman now finally gets to feel when she has sex because she now has some sides to play with and notice. Additionally, because the black men are portrayed as King Kong, the white woman will be living out her wildest dreams. It will be as if she defeated a mighty black god. There will be no limits to what she would do in the bedroom and only during sex. She will even introduce her uncivilized, savage, beastly, wild, friendly sexual behaviors like social media star Bonnie Blue. Which will develop into groupies and orgies and erotic sex and exotic sex, animalistic sex, and aggressively demeaning sex. To her, she has this pyramid-building black god under her spell, and all she has to do is rock the mic every time that he wants to hear the music and allow him to play musical chairs. This black man think he is winning. He has now accomplished the American dream. There's no longer a need to further develop spiritually, emotionally, physically, mentally, or financially. He will no longer pursue academic and career development. He will lose all sense of identity of his black self, black love, and black pride. He will hate everything black because to him, he's no longer black because he has a white girl and light-skinned babies who lost their melanin through interbreeding with an inferior white race. So when you see a lot of people in these interracial relationships, there are few of them, have knowledge of the Most High. Few of them study the black history, African history, or culture and identity and stuff like that. They seek to become something new. And so outside of submissive sex, it's almost like you lose yourself when you date outside of yourself. Outside of submissive sex, the white woman will control all things. To do so, she must emotionally and spiritually kill this black man. And so before embarking on her attack, she first must buy some insurance. She secures herself a child because no black man will abandon their children, and most black men are like mommy and daddy in one. The children becomes insurance. And that's why many black men don't leave abusive interracial marriages if they have kids, because they fear that their kids will be taken away from them. And they're afraid to have babies with black women because of the child support system and family court system there. And a lot of black women run to put you on child support. And the many black women that don't allow black men to parent their children or be involved in their lives because of their own drama that they have between each other. The white woman also controls the interactions between this black father and his colored child. She must never allow an army to develop within her household, and never can she allow them to have their own relationship outside of her. Additionally, this white loving counterpart will now weather all ties and relationships that this black man has with his family, with his friends, with his community, and with his society. That's something very typical you're seeing in interracial marriages that they just cut off everybody. This is what the Most High meant when they would lead you away from them. She needs her black melanated God to herself and always under her close watchful eye. He can never have time to himself, and she must know everything he says and everything he does because she's always afraid of him leaving her. Additionally, she must keep him away from himself at all times. Never is he allowed to know himself or feel black. He can never know who he is. She must remove every trace of himself until he assimilates into his new white identity. or mixed identity. When you constantly expand and contract energy, you travel through the cosmos. Additionally, it requires a lot of heat and fire to burn black holes in space. So this white woman will be violently, emotionally, and more likely overweight and out of shape, sloppy. So red hot fire, like fire, will be her words and love. She brings the fire by her constant arguments about nothing, never agreeing, never seeing eye to eye, while she maintains all control, even when he is the breadwinner. Because our bodies are majority water and we are made to be conductors of energy or electricity, this black man will likely abuse narcotics, stimulants, tobacco, and any mentally escaping substances and devices just to get mentally escape this devil. This black man dating a white woman will always function in the lower ego or animalistic behaviors. He will never spiritually advance, even as a Mason. Most likely, he would never feel the need to. Because of substance abuse and emotional stress, he would develop mental, emotional, financial, and spiritual trauma. He will have an identity complex and crisis. And the same goes for black women who are dating white men and other races, including Spanish folks who are majority white themselves, if you study their DNA, which is why many of them discriminate against us. And there's no such thing as like a Mexican, El Salvadorian, Nicaraguan, South American, so on and so forth, because they all trace back to Spain there, so we all have been lied to. The sad reality is that he knows why he suffers, but he will refuse to accept the truth of what he must do to liberate himself from this savage slave master who curses him out at all times, makes him feel worthless, and then has wild sex with him and makes him a cake, and all while calling him the N-word there. He can never walk away from all the pretty looking cakes and fresh cookies. Why nobody makes cookies like this white woman. No one makes sure his dark fantasies are experienced. The black woman would never submit to a black man, so he's stuck experiencing a fake gift and a real curse. He never read Deuteronomy chapter 28. He never was allowed to know why he suffered and who his enemy is. Why? His true history and true God must never be revealed or allowed in their household. So you won't find, the Most High Yah in a lot of these interracial households there. And what does this white woman do if he gets so bad? I'll give him Jesus, she says. I know my white Jesus will subdue this black man, and I spread my body pole at north in the bedroom to give him Jesus on the cross between two thieves. I'll lay submissive with my arms wide open. So she buys a Bible and places it on the dining room table for display. And next time my slave gets out of line, I'll have him study Jesus. What would Jesus do? He told us to love our enemies, be good slaves, render to Caesar what Caesar's, never give up an eye for an eye or a tooth for a tooth, because I must always be ruthless in my speech. And so this black man can never talk to me the way I talk to him. He can never defend himself or reciprocate any physical attacks. Why? I'll just call the police. So you'll see this a lot in the interracial dating. You'll see the non-black, whether it be a white or a Spanish person, dating a black person, and they talk to them like they nothing. They treat them like they're nothing. They're abusive to them. Or they call them the N-word. Their families are racist and stuff like that, yet somehow something keeps them there. And once they hear or see that a black man offending a white woman, they'll put him in his line and in his place. They'll pump some fear into him and white pride and give me back my submissive sleeping black giant. And if he gets out of line or I see him do it, I'll have him get joint bank accounts and life insurance on him. Hey, let's get married. If you are killed by the police, or at least me and your baby can survive. And in her head, she's thinking, I could even get another black slave. Additionally, because their offspring has black blood, she would never fully love her child. That's another thing you're seeing, these interracial child reproductions there. A lot of kids are hated by their own parents there. She will not provide motherhood and early child development. This child will suffer from learning disabilities, attention deficit, and behavior issues. He will not be able to regulate any unstructured settings, and he will not be able to develop relationship and make friends. This is known by scientists and psychologists and educators. The interracial dating and marriages and the children is a topic that is extensively studied there. And so this child would disrupt classes for attention. If it's a female teacher, inside he would hate white women because his own white mother doesn't accept him or spend time with him or show him any love. His own white mother treats him bad. He's always in trouble and never does anything good. And so mixed children will hate the white race because of their white parents, and because they have some black in them, they will hate whites after seeing how whites treat blacks. And they would seek their black side but be rejected because blacks will see them the same they see whites, as an outsider and as a threat, because everyone fears what they don't understand. And so many mixed children have no one. They're in a world of themselves, which also leads to many mixed children turn into the gay lifestyle. And since he only gets attention when he's being disciplined, and since the white mother hates blacks, she takes all her rage out on her child. This child is likely to experience physical, emotional, and mental abuse. A lot of mixed children experience these things. Additionally, he begins to act out. And watch this movie called The Strays there. Additionally, he begins to act out just to get noticed, even if it results in a harsh beating or murderous words. This child will also isolate to himself and never feel like he is wanted or fits in anywhere because he's not accepted in his own home. He's not even recognized except during meals and discipline. In his household, he will never experience the true meaning of family because his home will be void of love and structure. The mother and father will never fully love each other and show that. They are both trapped living dark fantasies and late night pimping stemming from a drunk night that led to a never-ending story. And there's something interesting about interracial children and homosexuality that kind of goes hand in hand. A major population of gay people are interracial children, both in spirit and even like in their physical appearances there. And so at school, the black man will be absent and have no involvement in his child's education. Never can this black man let anyone know he is the father, especially since the black father doesn't even know how to relate to his own mixed child and doesn't want his child receiving the same discrimination blacks receive, which most likely comes from his own white mother, who labels all blacks ghetto and doesn't want her child to be ghetto. Because this child is light, he's only experienced a 10. And so the school knows that this child, if the school knows that this child is really black, he will be mistreated, discriminated against, experience racism, and all the students will never be his friends since they live in a white dominant area. So the child ignored his black identity and only claims his whiteness, just like the movie Imitation of Life. And so a mixed couple, they will always live in the shadows of white society, and you rarely find them around blacks. She could never risk losing her black slave to other blacks. They are very isolated in a white forest. And because of all the society changes and the lack of development, you will most likely find mixed couples renting apartments and no home ownership. The black male will also be a slave to the white capitalistic society and not a free-thinking businessman or entrepreneur. He must never experience any career or personal development, never rise above his inferior white partner. He can never have power or control. So he's stuck job to job and having a career, never having a career unless he's working for the slave master government. He can be a police officer, work in prisons, post office, social work, volunteer, but never like in finance, law, medical, engineering, successful, powerful positions. He must also maintain inferior employment. And if his funds begin to distort his mind or give him courage, she'll just become a big spender. That's another trend I see in interracial dating. They're a major consumer of priceless and worthless objects. And he can never own a home or feel like he's somebody and never have enough money to get rid of her or leave her there. This white woman can never let go of her newly acquired black slave. She already bragged about her defeat to her mother. At first, her mother didn't understand because she hates black men herself. And that's another thing you'll see. A lot of interracial marriages, the family hates black people. So you're rejected by their family. A lot of times you're discriminated against. You experience racism and things of that nature, even by society. So so the child there, when they have a child together, the child becomes like some type of reconciliation with the mother, because the child passes as white or light skinned. The grandmother feels like she must meet her grandchild, but still not quite accepting of the black man father in his own home there. And so what's interesting there, if you think about it, Ecclesiastes talks about how there's nothing new under the sun there, and to everything there's a time and a season, a time to every purpose under heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to get and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to cast away, a time to rend and a time to sow, a time to keep silence and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. So before Peleg, all the continents were connected as one large landmass, and the people were one, meaning humans all had color, various shades of black, brown, purple, yellow, red, stuff like that. The word Peleg means division, simply the division of the lands, and the lands now separated by bodies of water, which is also symbolic of the current reflection of the world that we have today there. So just as the lands were one and the people were one, and as the land spread, so did the people spread into the various races that we have today there. And so we must know that in the beginning it wasn't like this. The entire earth was one large landmass, and even the land of Israel was connected to the continent of Africa before they stole the so-called Holy Land and blew up the Suez Canal there that connects it to the land. And the Western world was connected as one to the Eastern world there. That's why when you look at the Amazon in South America, it lines up to the Congo there. And that's why many migrants, they prove that the lands are still connected there, because a lot of them were walking from overseas to America there, on foot there. So back to Peleg. The land split. Eventually came other races, but by being further removed from the equator, also we must factor in the fallen angels created many races today. And they say scientifically, people must note that it takes 2 to 3 generations to remove traces of pigmentation. And this happens when people live in isolation, and it also happens with mixed breeding, and it also happens the further you live away from the equator, they say scientifically there. So in the book, in the Hebrew book Leviticus, when someone had leprosy, this meant that they had white spots on their body. So this is another clue that all people were black and whites are a new race there. And so if a white person developed white spots on their body, why would there be an issue, and how would leprosy be detected? White blends with white without being noticed. So being blacks was the norm. It was a norm to have a black baby. Black is the source of all colors, and even 2 black parents can procreate a white child and a red child, a brown child, a purple, green, yellow, and so forth. Black produces all colors. And just as melanin is the color black, this is important to note, because the more melanin you have, the more spiritual energy glands and centers, what they call chakras, you have. The blacker you are, the more, and also the more activated strains of DNA you have. The blacker you are, the more closer you are to Elohim, the source of all things. There was a guy who did a study, and he said in Europe, amongst the Europeans that we call today, they had about 6-strand DNAs, activated. And then he did a test in Africa, and it showed that a lot of Africans had anywhere between 9 to 12 active strands of DNA there. Study Henrietta Locke. There's a movie with Jamie Foxx, Project Power, there. And so that's why blacks are naturally spiritual people, and whites are like the complete opposite, and it's all because of the melanin content there. They said the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. So when a black child developed white spots, they were removed from society and forced to live in isolation. They were feared as blacks lived from Adam to the world of Adam was black. The world started with Noah was black, and then as it was in the beginning, so shall it be in the end. And that's why Jacob is inheriting the earth, because everything is going back to how it was in the beginning there. And so when Noah was born, he frightened his parents, because the earth was majority black and people of color. So Noah was born, speculated in the book of Enoch, as a white albino, with the appearance of white, and they were afraid of him. They thought he was one of the holy angels. We know that's like reference to the fallen angels there, and you'll find that in Enoch. I believe it's like chapter 106 or something like that. There. Additionally, when the Most High assigned Moses to save his people, the children from Egypt, Moses had doubt that the people would follow him and listen to him, and so he asked the Most High for signs there, and he told him to put his hand in his pocket, and his black hand came out white. And so the people were astonished and knew that the Most High was with Moses, because nobody could do such a thing there. So we know that the children of Israel and the Israelites, they are what you would call black or Negro people there. Additionally, since you love Hollywood so much, racist Zionist Jews control Hollywood and all the media, the press, the schools, the government, the police, the entire world. And that's why everything is whitewashed in this world. That's why you're taught by a white teacher, led by white leaders, policed by white police, governed by whites, prison by whites, forced to date whites, etc., etc. That's why every time you turn on TV and watch a movie, even if it's a Bible movie or about the Exodus, or a movie about the Messiah, or any other movie for that matter, they make all their characters and cast white. Blacks only play inferior roles. But if you watch their TV series Lucifer, God, it was a black man and Lucifer was a white man. Even God was black in Bruce Almighty movie there. Just like if you study the Sudan and the Congo and then watch the movie Avatar. Sudan and the Congo, where you get the blue people, and then you go watch the movie Avatar. All these movies are about us there. Now even if you're black conscious and have black pride, your brain computer cannot decipher like all the distinctions. Your brain doesn't have emotions. That's the heart. So your brain lacks the abilities to develop emotions or distinguish between emotions. Your brain is a computer that receives, records, and transmits information. That's it. That's why the enemy uses occult symbols, because that symbol can communicate silently to your brain and to your subconscious. That's why they flood us with so much gay agenda and interracial marriages, because they're programming the brain. This is why they manipulate the music and the vibrations and the frequencies there. So if you're constantly taking in white supremacy motifs all day and this gay agenda all day, deep down in your subconscious mind, you are being programmed to feel that whites are superior and the only race that matters, and that to be gay is to be like a god there. Additionally, you are programmed to naturally hate everything black. This is all because your brain cannot tell which recordings you reject and how the heart feels. The law of numbers would dictate that if you intake more white supremacy than black truth of being superior, then your mind is overweighed by the white supremacy intakes of the lies and the racist system, which works like a matrix of mental slavery at the root core of your brain. There, which is giving you like a new identity. And that's why the world carries the identity of victims of white supremacy. Like we're living like we're victims instead of living like conquerors there. It's so deep in our brain that the only thing that can remove white supremacy is the Most High Yah, because with the Most High, black and Black Lives Matters go hand in hand, and the Most High is more powerful than those devils there. That's why you must always be in oneness with the Creator, because the Most High chose blacks to be His chosen seed, His firstborn, His inheritance. We didn't choose God or the Most High; He chose us. So don't let them ever fool you. This is, and if you even look at those fake Jews in Jerusalem, the fake Pope called Jesus, who sits as the vicar of Christ, the fake queen who stole the house of David, the throne from the Commonwealth of Israel, the Black Jacobites that founded, many places in Europe, such as Britain, Scotland, Ireland, Germany, France, and so forth. A lot of people are just starting to realize that the leprechaun there, a lot of Irish people are starting to realize that, even Ireland started out as black there. They didn't tell you that those Vikings were black there, and the cowboys of the American West were black there. California was named after a black woman named Khalifa. Europe was named after a black woman named Europa there. And so, a lot of people are just trying to emulate these Gentiles and these devils while they're busy stealing everything from us and programming our brain with lies there. And so I'm no Jesus. I don't love my enemies. I give my enemies an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth, just like the commandments of the Most High Yah declares. And my tongue is a sharp sword of truth and righteousness there. So we got a lot of pushover blacks, and you're not acting like the Most High Yah. You're acting like gay, devilish, Baphomet Jesus and Esau-Rome. So we need to man up and woman up there. Romans chapter 16 verse 20, and the Elohim of peace shall bruise Satan under your feet shortly there. And so we go to the book of Malachi, here, Malachi chapter 1, the burden of the word of the Yahuwah by Israel, by Malachi. I have loved you, saith the Yahuwah, yet you say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother, saith the Yahuwah? Yet I loved Jacob, and I hated Esau, and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the foundations, dragons of the wilderness. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Yahuwah of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Yahuwah have indignation forever. And your eyes shall see, and you shall say, the Yahuwah will be magnified beyond the border of Israel. A son honoreth his father, and a servant his master. If then I be a father, where is thine honor? And if I be a master, where is my fear? Saith the Yahuwah hosts unto you. O priests that despise my name, and ye say, wherein have we despised my name? Ye offer polluted bread upon my altar, and you say, where have you polluted thee? And in that ye say, the table of the Yahuwah is contemptible. And if you offer the blind for sacrifice, is it not evil? And if you offer the lame and sick, is it not evil? Offer it now unto thy governor. Will he be pleased with thee, or accept thy person, saith the Yahuwah host? And now I pray you, beseech Elohim that he will be gracious unto us, that have been by your means. Will he regard your person, saith the Yahuwah of hosts there. But curse, in verse 14, but cursed be the deceiver, which have in his flock a male, and voweth and sacrifice unto the Yahuwah a corrupt thing. For I am a great king, saith the Yahuwah of hosts, and by my name is dreadful among the heathen. Now these are all Hebrew scriptures here. These are the words of the Most High, and this is why it's very important that you identify who Esau is, because the Most High hates Esau. Esau was behind the enslavement of our people. Esau was behind the partitioning of Africa, behind the establishment of the United Nations, behind neocolonialism and colonialism, behind apartheid, in Africa. Esau is behind the mass genocide that we have experienced here, for thousands of years. He's even behind the genocide that's going on in the Congo and the Sudan today. But everybody is hiding it behind Palestine, and that's why they flooding you with all this stuff about Palestine, to hide what they're doing in sub-Sahara Africa there. And so we need to understand who Esau is. The Most High hate those devils. They are evil and ungodly, and that's their natural nature. Yet many people elevate them, and they emulate them, and they praise those racist devils. People sell their soul to those racist evil devils because you love their money. And that's why all Israel, the Most High is saying that he is going to save a remnant here in Israel, but he's given us an opportunity to repent, because the Most High knows that we are like sheep led to slaughter, and many of us are still, like many people experience the awakening at different times. So you have the first fruits that are awakening now, but there's many people that are still in their deep sleep there, and we're coming to the end of suffering our divine punishments here. And so Ezekiel chapter 5 here, and thou son of man, take thee a sharp knife, take thee a barber's razor, and cause it to pass under thy head and upon thy beard. Then take the balances to weight and divide the hair. Thou shalt burn with fire a third part in the midst of the city, when the days of siege are fulfilled. And thou shalt take a third part and smite about it with a knife, and a third part thou shalt scatter into the wind, and I will draw a sword after it. And thou shalt also take during a few in number, and bind them in thy skirts. Then take them again, and cast them into the midst of the fire, and burn them in the fire. For thereof shall a fire come forth in all the house of Israel. Thus saith the Elohim, this is Jerusalem. I have set it in the midst of the nations and countries that are around about her. And she have changed my Sabbath into wickedness more than the nations, and my statutes more than the countries that are round about her. For they have refused my judgments and my statutes, that they have not walked in them. Therefore thus saith the Elohim, because you multiply more than the nations that are around about you, and have not walked in my statutes, neither have you kept my judgments, neither have you done according to my judgments of the nations that are round about you. Therefore thus saith the Elohim, behold, I, even I, am against thee, and I will execute judgments in the midst of thee in the sight of the nations, and I will do in thee that which I have not done, and wherein I will not do any more the like, because of all thy abominations. Therefore thy fathers shall eat of the sons in the midst of thee, and the sons shall eat their fathers, and I will execute judgments in thee, and the whole remnant of thee will I scatter into the winds. Wherefore as I live, saith the Yahuwah of hosts, surely because thou hast defiled my sanctuary, and with all thy detestable things, and with all thy abominations, therefore will I also diminish thee, neither shall my eyes spare thee, neither will I have pity. A third part of thee shall die with the pestilence, and famine, with famine shall they be consumed in the midst of thee, and a third part shall fall by the sword round about thee, and I will scatter a third part into the winds, and I will draw a sword after them. Thus shall my anger be accomplished, and I will cause my fury to rest upon them, and I will be comforted, and they should know that I, the Yahuwah, have spoken it in my zeal, when I have accomplished my fury in them. Moreover, I will make thee waste and a reproach amongst the nations that are about thee, and the sight of all that pass by. So it shall be a reproach and a taunt, an instruction and an astonishment unto the nations that are round about thee, when I shall execute my judgments in thee in anger and in fury and in furious rebukes. I, the Yahuwah, have spoken it. So this is what we have been witnessing. We have been experiencing all these Deuteronomy 28 curses by the hands of our enemies, the Gentiles there, who never dealt with the Most High, who's under their own doctrines of man that they forced upon us. They forced their religions, forced their cultures, forced their marriages and their ways of thinking there. And we have to return, remove all these marks of the beast and remove all these ways that are not of the Most High. Isaiah chapter 29 verse 22. Therefore thus saith the Yahuwah, who redeemed Abraham, concerning the house of Jacob, Jacob shall now be ashamed, neither shall his face now wax pale. But when he seeth his children, the work of my hands in the midst of him, they shall sanctify my name, and sanctify the Holy One of Jacob, and shall fear the Elohim of Israel. They also that erred in spirit shall come to understanding, and they that murmured shall learn doctrine. And so we have been baptized in the fires of the Ruach HaKodesh there. We went through this period called Jacob's trouble. And the time has come for us to take an honest look at ourselves, take an honest look at our lives, and remove all the errors of our ways. We have inherited lies and vanity. People have even misinterpreted scriptures. We have blindly followed the doctrines of man, which follows the doctrines of Satan and the fallen angels. And because the Most High never dealt with Gentiles, we have served their gods and taken on their marks of the beast in our thoughts and in our actions. Hence the word government there. The Most High is removing these curses by putting these truths out there, whether you believe them or accept them or not. I know truth is always stranger than fiction, they say nowadays. The Most High is here to judge the Gentiles and to fulfill his oaths to our forefathers and to the covenant. We must abandon the traditions of man man that are in rebellion to the Most High. This includes all religions, masonry, Eastern Stars, Greek letter organizations, military, schools and colleges, and even their cultural ways, such as interracial marriages, homosexuality, gender changes, and transgenders, which is all Baphomet worship. These are all abominations before our Father and his covenant, and these are all parts of the marks of the beast. The marks of the beast are also in vaccinations as well, and Neuralink that's why it goes on your forehead and what you're witnessing is the rise of the beast system So now you are aware of the evilness that's ruling the earth, that's been hidden from us. Expect things to get more evil and expect things to get more wicked I'll give you an example of how the enemy plays chess. So Democrats and Republicans work together. Biden's job was to mass fund Israel and to flood America with migrants spending billions. Trump's job is to appear as a savior and rid America of the migrants and to whitewash America with Project 2025 and bring back slavery. So they're using the migrant crisis to bring about the beast system, and they're doing this through laws because everyone follows the law. The Devil's Advocate movie it shows how even Satan is ruling over the legal systems there. They just don't follow the Most High laws So all these secret societies, they have, and think about how pure evil this is. They have been planning everything, is scripted in our life. All the wars are scripted. All the people that's elected into office are scripted, all in advance. They have been planning this for thousands of years, generation after generation after generation. They have been planning this rebellion against the Most High and against his people So this is really nothing new. And so another example, they flooded gays with so many rights And then they have all these genders and sexual orientations they created. So watch how the stage is set to make being a pedophile a sexual orientation, so that way it is protected by laws Just as many states now are making bestiality, having sex with animals, legal It's really sickening the world that we're living in. The spirit of the Baphomet, it roots itself in their mistranslation of the creation of Adam. That's why I started this video with showing you how they think and why they think that way. And this is the Baphomet and the gay agenda. The Baphomet is linked with the Leviathan. So prepare yourself for the hour of temptation as Leviathan and Behemoth rises. And if you have any children, make sure you take proper steps to prepare yourself and your children, because these are hidden secrets of the system that's ruling and will be ruling throughout the tribulation. It says you can't buy or sell unless you have the mark of the beast. That's talking about the physical mark, and it's also talking about the spiritual marks as well And so we must, for those with eyes to see, the time has come for you to repent here and return to obedience to the laws and the commandments of the Most High. Abandon the ways of the Gentiles and partake in the plagues that's coming for Babylon here. And so Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 6, it says, "Flee out the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity. For this time is the time of the Yahuwah's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense. Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Yahuwah's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine. Therefore the nations are mad. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her. Take balm for her pain, for she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her and let us go, everyone into his own country. For her judgment reaches up to heaven and is lifted up even to the skies. The Yahuwah have brought forth our righteousness. Come and let us declare in Zion the work of the Yahuwah Elohim." So America is the daughter of Babylon. You have Rome being Babylon. Even all throughout Africa, you should really study how they're trying to push this, make Africans accept this gay agenda, or they're cutting funding, or they're raising rebels and militias and stuff like that. This is something that's this Leviathan, Behemoth, and this gay agenda is something that's spread out throughout the world. And it's really, if you look at the Eastern world, in my opinion, I think there's a lot more gay stuff going on over there than in America there. So, sometimes you got to study the East, because there's so much going on that they hide from the Western world. And so as Second Ezra chapter 7, here, 2 Ezra chapter 7, verse 17. Then answered I and said, O Elohim, O Yahuwah, thou bearest rule. Thou hast ordained in thy law that the righteous should inherit these things, but that the ungodly should perish. Nevertheless, the righteous shall suffer straight things, and hope for the wide. For they have done wickedly, have suffered the straight things, and yet shall not see the wide. And he said unto me, there is no judge above Elohim, and none that have understanding above the highest. For there be many that perish in this life, because they despise the law of Elohim that is set before them. For Elohim has set straight commandment to such as to Cain, what they should do to live, and even as they came, and what they should do to observe to avoid punishment. Nevertheless, they were not obedient unto him, but they spoke against him, and imagined vain things, and deceived themselves by their wicked deeds, and said of the Most High that he is not, and knew not his ways. But his law have they despised, and denied his covenants, and his statutes have they not been faithful, and have not performed his works. And therefore Ezra, for the empty are empty things, and for the full are full things. So it's very important right now. The most important thing that you could do is be getting knowledge. I try to do these videos anytime I get a word or a download from the Most High. I try to get into the isolation, get into the meditation, the fasting. Get into the spirit and put these videos out there. But it's literally at our doorstep here. The ark is closing, and the time to repent is drawing near. So if you haven't done so already, make sure you examine your heart, examine your mind. When you repent, it's about a change in the heart. It don't matter what you did in the past. When you start walking with the Most High, all things old perish. So for some people it's a quicker process. For some it takes even longer. So you have to kind of walk in the level of death, in the Most High, that supersedes the level of death of sin that you're coming from. And it's not for you when you're confessing your sins. You don't have to go and put yourself on blast and tell everybody your business and stuff like that. You go into the closet, go into the closet with the Most High, and that's a personal, intimate relationship that you establish there, and let them deal with you, let them work with you, But we all have inherited lies. We all have inherited vanity. The governments around the world and the religions around the world are set up and established to produce a lawless, environment. An environment that's rebellious to the Most High's laws and His commandments. And this is the American culture. This is mystery, the daughter of Babylon. And this is, the Rome is ruling over all the nations on the earth. So this is a very important time for you to realize that everything that we know and have been taught have been lies and deception. So in all you're getting right now, make sure you're getting knowledge study my timelines. I have a lot of videos on my timelines. A lot of them were removed, so you have to check my YouTube channel. I try to put some videos back up there, but I now have more videos on YouTube than I have on my Facebook page. So if you're a Facebook follower, make sure you follow me on YouTube. there. You could search it in the search engine, but somehow it doesn't come up in search. So I put a link of my YouTube profile on my Facebook profile. So just scroll my timeline. You can get my YouTube page there. Share, repost these posts. Tell your friends, your loved ones. Everyone out there going with the works. Shout outs to the 144,000 and all those that are out there, putting truth out there and, uplifting the people, awakening the people. Shout out even to all the righteous Gentiles that have repented there and even, turned their back on their own people so they didn't, they could try to save their soul there. So this is a time when we have to be one body in Hamashiach. They're all followers of the Most High and all followers of His laws and His commandments, regardless of what color you are. We all there, but we also need to realize that we can never replace who the true bloodline Israelites are that will be in leadership and ruling positions in the kingdom while all those others will serve as servants. So the Most High is going to make an end of all nations there. As it was done to us, so shall it be done to them. An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. He that led into captivity shall go into captivity. The same strong delusion and deep sleep that we had to experience, that's what the Most High is going to send to the Gentiles here. So there's a strong delusion that's going forth here into the world for all those who reject the word of the Most High and reject His people there. And so this is a time of knowledge, and this is a time where we have to, really change the way we think and change the way we act there. So just examine your heart, examine your mind, be honest with yourself. You can lie to the world, but you cannot lie to yourself, and you cannot lie to the Most High there. So we have to all take honest looks in the mirror there, and stop living as victims and start living as conquerors there. And so this is also a time where we have to watch over the women and children, help the poor, help those that are less fortunate there, learn how to help your brethren there. If you cannot love your brothers who you see with your own eyes, how can you ever love the Most High who you have never seen there? So everything is going to start with love. All battles and need to be fought and won and conquered in the heart there. So we need to start changing our hearts. We need to keep our hearts pure, and we also need to understand that the Most High has structure and He has order and He has law that governs every aspect of our daily life, including marriages, including mating and sex and stuff like that, including gender changes and stuff. So this system that is upon us and the ways of this world, that's why I said a friend of this world is an enemy of the Most High there, because this world is evil and this world unfortunately, is not a friendly place. This is a world that worships Satan. There, they hate women. They hate black folks, Israelites. There, they hate the Most High. There, and so this is the system that's rising, and the Most High is telling you right now to repent, and He will keep you from the hour of temptation that's coming from the world, and the time when He's pouring His wrath upon the earth. That hour is drawing near right now there. So I'm screaming out as one crying in the wilderness to say, repent, and let's seek the kingdom of heaven, because the kingdom of heaven is at hand there. So I know we talked about a lot of sensitive information in this video. I must say that this is all alleged, and all for educational purposes there, and so each one teach one. Let's come together here as one. Thanks for tuning in, and if you haven't done so already, make sure you check all the videos on my timeline and share and repost these videos. Until next time, y'all bless and stay as watchmen there. So thanks for tuning in. You all have a great day and go on with the works there. Shalom.